Starting soon. Alrighty. It's been a while. Let's Let me turn this a little bit. Make it more even. Okay. As good as we're gonna get. Welcome back. Return of the tarot readings. I do a 5-card spread. I'm working on the queue. In fact, I should just type up a message in my chat. Chat, let's pin that message. Okay, so I'm working on the queue. And just start, let's see, 6 minutes and oh, Ned, you're funny. Alrighty, so we're going to be working with Family of Lilies. I'll just wait for the 6-minute mark to start. I tilt the camera. I feel like it's off-centered. Well, whatever, I'll fix it next time. Okay, Family of Lilies. I do a 5-card spread. Tells us a little about yourself. What's going on with you right now. We're not addressing anything too specific, but maybe might spark some ideas. I'll explain as I go along, and at the end I also do a bonus oracle card, just as a little something extra for fun. Okay, there we go. I think it's tilted better now. Yeah, okay, it's straight, or straighter. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Deck up here. Gonna start with the Page of Swords. So I'm gonna go open up my charts because there's like 76 cards. Not too hard to keep track of. You eventually I eventually get a hang of it, but it's still a lot of information. So what do we got? Page. Alright, Page of Swords. Okay, we have upright. It typically means curious, witty, chatty, communicative, inspired, vigilant, alert, mental agility, restlessness, and mental energy. So a lot of mind. Well, I guess swords themselves deal with the mind, but move this out of the way. We're going to start with the page of your journey, or if we're using video game terms or like JRPG terms, you file, name your character, hit go, and your story or whatever adventure your game begins. So this, I like how it talks about being curious. You're curious about a lot of things. It could be the world, it could be about yourself, it could be even just about how things work. You're just very inquisitive and curious nature, so that's going to lead you to growth and expanding. It talks about being inspired, so maybe you're curious to pursue something, maybe you're unsure doing something, maybe how others would react, but at least you're willing to chat and talk about these things that may even be weird for some people. You're open to discussion. You're open to exploration. And again, it's either about yourself, the world, or literally anything. And somewhere along the line of you exploring, you're inspired to do more, or pursue more of what you're already doing, or maybe you're already doing stuff already, you want to take it to the next level, or you want to go get more knowledge, or maybe you just want to see literally more of what life has to offer. It talks about chat being witty, chatty, and communicative, so you're going to be able to talk and express your ideas, even if maybe the message doesn't get across to some people. At least you're able to express verbally, mentally, write it down, jot it down, talk to people, chat to people, and texting, verbally, you name it. It talks about being alert and vigilant, so keeping your wits about you, maybe not letting yourself fall victim to scams or flatterers or yes men. But at least, you're very optimistic. You're looking out the world is your oyster. You're going to explore, or maybe you already set a plan and you decide, what, it's time to execute this plan or see it through and do more with yourself or things that ultimately matter to you. It also talks about restlessness, mental agility, and mental energy. So maybe you're really eager to get going and start it, and you've been putting it off for a while, but now you're like, okay, whatever it is you want to do or have been doing, you want to do more, you want to take it further. And it's the time for that. And you're pretty much, it seems like you're already on your way, or you already got a plan figured out and you're setting it into motion. You're just going to execute it, and basically you're just going to do. So now we're going to move to the second card, which represents the obstacle. So this one I play in reverse or upside down, and reversed tarot cards have alternate meanings. And it's literally the obstacle. It could be something cock blocking you. It could be like you're trying to cross a bridge over like some mountains, but the bridge is out. It could be trap holes somewhere. It could be even just a simple bump in the road and you get a flat tire, whatever. Something you have to address. Or maybe this, not necessarily used against you, but also this card could also help you address things to help you get out of a rut or sticky situation. So with that, we get the Hermit, featuring the Land Hermit Crab. I forgot the first card was the Kermode Bear. But let me pull out the Hermit. Usually it means like being alone, internal isolation, a lot of thinking, contemplating, decision making. But it's in reverse, so we're going to take a look at what it normally means: self-reflection, introspection, contemplation, withdrawal, solitude, search for self, search for the truth, inner guidance. That's what it means normally. But in this case, it's going to mean loneliness, isolation, recluse, being antisocial, rejection, but also yet returning to society, lost your way. So this is both sides of the coin of this card both mean a way of isolation. But this one, because the first card was talking about, going out there, setting goals, doing your thing, and being chatty and witty and, talking, being able to talk. But this one's also talking about returning to society and rejection. So maybe you felt you weren't accepted. And the card also talks about losing your way. So maybe you tried a little bit, not saying hard or not hard, but like you tried a bit. Maybe you got discouraged. Your path and ideas led you to some loneliness. Maybe it's too extreme for some people, or just maybe people didn't understand you and you didn't find people who vibed or understood you. So you felt like a self-ostracized outcast. And when the card talks about being antisocial, maybe, who knows, maybe you just want to do your own thing and it doesn't rely on other people or external validation. Like you can set your hopes and dreams just doing your own thing and not, again, relying or needing interactions with other people. It also talks about being, again, the big thing I think returning to society kind of sticks out in my mind a lot, because maybe you felt like you couldn't live how you want it to be. You want it to be like more genuine and authentic to yourself, but it wasn't clicking with people. Maybe you're not confused, but still self-discovery. Anyone's entire life is self-discovery, and maybe you're like, okay, maybe I need to tone it down and maybe get, quote unquote, get back to society. That could even just be going back to work, not necessarily abandoning your dreams, but putting things on hold while you get your life together more. So when you come back and want to pursue and do these things, you'll be in a better mindset, headspace, and maybe even if it's like a money thing, you'll have more money and finances to do this stuff Maybe just something to keep in mind that if you're in this rut, these clues can help you get out of it, or if you're not in this rut, it's also like saying, hey, these are warnings, you could end up here. So we're going to go to the third card now, which represents positive influences. And real quick, for the first card, it represents the significant factor, significator, which I'm not sure what that means. It sounds almost like significant factor, but it's spelled differently. But it's literally just the start. Now we're going to get to the third card of positive influences, and we get the Seven of Cups featuring the European Badger. Let's pull that up. Let's go back to Cups. 7th Century of Cups. Okay. So this is going to mean choices, searching for purpose, illusion, fantasy, daydreaming, wishful thinking, and indecision. So again, kind of funny because the last card talked about, the society stuff and rejection, being more introverted, isolated, blah, blah, blah. So now you're in a spot. Maybe you got through that rut. Good for you. 1 second. Your resident says significators are cards that represent the occurrence either by choice or by association to birthday. So what would be a good way for me to translate that? Or at least in my aspect, because I'm doing general readings for people. So would you say just like the question itself, or just the start or the beginning? The card talks about daydreaming, searching for a purpose. So you return to society. Maybe the thing you were doing didn't work out, and now you're back, not to necessarily square one, but you're thinking more. What do you want to do in this life? Time is limited. You only live once, yada, yada, yada. So now it's saying you have a lot of choices to make. You're searching for a sense of purpose. Or maybe you have a sense of purpose, but no one else realizes it, and you just want to almost like self-validate yourself by doing this journey. That's about illusion and fantasy. So I don't know if the ideas or goals you're searching for, or that purpose you're searching for, is just a fantasy, or if you're stuck in a fantasy and you want to pull yourself out of it and bring yourself to the truth in just real life. It talks about daydreaming. So maybe there's things you really want to do. You want to execute. You may not be in a position to do it, but you're realizing more and more that there are things you want to do and work towards. There's that wishful thinking. Again, this is all very optimistic thinking, so you have a lot of choices. You have a lot of dreams, passions, fantasies going on. Either you're in one, or the things you're hoping to achieve are a fantasy, but you want to make them a reality. And there's a lot of indecision because you have so many choices at your disposal. It's also, what do I do? How do I do it? When do I do it? So it's a lot of how, what, whys. But at least you have these opportunities to do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's up to you if you want to pursue more. Even if it's like, say, going out, venturing into the world and finding out things aren't the way you thought they were. Or if you want to stay home and be like, this is fine. And like almost like ignorance is bliss type of a thing. So it's like,
welcome to the asylum. Enjoy your stay.
Welcome in, Positive Impact. Thank you for the follow. So it's a lot of it is, do you want to stay here and be comfortable and fine, or do you want to explore more, expand your mind and world? And even if it's potentially not what you thought it was, at least, nothing, it's still worth pursuing. So it's like the Matrix. Do you want to break out of the Matrix and see the world for what it is and then make your own decisions of whatever? Or do you want to stay in the Matrix? So this card is, I feel like, saying you more like you want to break out of the Matrix. And Nirav Asa, I'm just going to say Zim, says you can refer to the collective significator simply for you, and you can be chosen before a reading. It spreads like a Celtic cross, where the first card represents the person. When someone's significator appears in the reading and asks to pay extra attention. Okay, sweet. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Zim is one of my favorite cartoon characters. I've only seen the little movie not remake, but the movie they made recently in the last like 4 or 5 years. I never watched the actual series Invader Zim back in the day, but that's the third card of positive influences. Now we're going to get to the fourth card, which represents the near future. So we're just going to fast forward just a tiny bit and see where this is all going. And we get the Seven of Wands, featuring the Wild Boar Piglet. Look at this little guy. So now things are going to get a little spicy, so let me pull up the wands. Okay, protectiveness, standing up for yourself, defending yourself, protecting territory, perseverance, maintaining control, mount defense. So maybe you decided what you want to do, you really want to go for it, you're gonna... That's a lot of defending yourself. You know, that's not only physically, it can also be mentally and spiritually too. That you're standing up for your beliefs, you're searching for, or maybe you found your purpose, or maybe people aren't agreeing or liking what you're doing, but you're letting people know, hey, I'm doing this thing, I'm not being tricked, I'm not being fooled into doing it. I actually want to see where this is going. I want to pursue this. I want to know more. I want more. And you're going to stand up for yourself and beliefs. Talks about territory, just generally standing up, taking... Let's see, it says maintaining control. You're not going to lose balance or waver or maybe be talked out of certain things. Not that you can't seek advice and get people's opinions to help formulate your own opinion, but, you know, you kind of know what you're doing. And you feel, I guess a better way to say it is you feel strongly about it. And you're going to persevere, even though maybe the road you've chosen, you know it's going to be a little hard. But that's okay, because you want to see it through, for your own sake, for your own curiosity, not for anyone else, not for society, for you. So maybe a good example is, hey, like I had a friend that started identifying or feeling they're transgender. They want to give it a try. She started doing it. She's getting a lot of backlash from some people because she wasn't accepted. But she lives in I would just say, a very dangerous part of the United States where that stuff is really not that it's not accepted. You can get beat up for it. So she's making a stand. She knows she's doing it in a bad neighborhood, but it's her being authentic to herself. So it's like, you know, you're gonna just sit and live a lie, or you're gonna stand up for yourself a little more. Maybe she hopes to move out eventually to a safer part of the country, but for now it's that. And that's just one example. Zim says, as a Canadian, to see everyday part of the United States and a dangerous part of the United States, it do feel like that sometimes. So now we're going to get to the fifth card, which kind of wraps it up a bit. And it's going to be the long-term results, or maybe the far future, or it could even be like the ending credits, the final dungeon boss, the final regular boss. It could even be a to-be-continued cliffhanger. But let's see where it ends up. And we get the 10 of Cups, featuring the Bearded Dragon. Let's go to Cups. Back to Cups. Alright, 10 of Cups. Happiness, homecomings, fulfillment, emotional stability, security, domestic harmony, inner happiness, dreams coming true. So that's a very, 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 very positive card. Like, you made it after all. You feel fulfilled. Maybe you found what you were looking for, or maybe on the trips you never found what you're looking for, but then you realize it's all about the journey and not the destination, kind of a thing. Talks about dreams coming true, because the other cards talked about fantasy, illusions, daydreaming. So maybe you finally made something you really wanted to a reality, which is, in my opinion, pretty freaking cool. And yeah, it gives you a sense of fulfillment. You feel safer, so it just literally, and the people around you are flourishing. Like, you literally, because of this little journey, brought happiness to yourself and the ones around you, which is pretty cool. Or it's like if you're like in, I don't know, like a small island, and you took a boat on a trip to go somewhere, and all your like village people were just like, don't go, don't leave home. You're like, I want to see the world. And then you come back, and they were like thrilled that your tribe was like, oh my god, you actually came back, you actually remembered us. And then you came back with like stories, knowledge, antiques, trinkets, and just everything. So very happy, positive, I would say, ending to this story. And the story never truly ends. This is just a story. So you can keep going, or at least like this video game, you beat this game, and now you're like, okay, on to the next game, or whatever it is else that you want to do. So with that, we're going to do a bonus Oracle card. I'm using a Novice Witch deck. Pretty cool. And we're going to, just to complement your reading, it's like almost like a cherry on top, or a fortune cookie. Just a little something extra to spice things up. So we get the Cauldron, which represents rebirth. So again, you put everything into the cauldron. Imagine you're making soup, and you're putting in all the ingredients that you gathered from around the world or on your journeys and trips, or even all your like life experiences. And you're throwing into a big bowl, making soup, and now you're reborn because the ingredients, you know, maybe raw, might be like meat, herbs, and stuff. You're killing stuff, or you're cooking, alchemy, whatever you want to call it. You're converting it into life, or feeding us to preserve our life in the sense of rebirth. Or in some other cases, people might see this as just like you purged a lot of yourself and now you're reborn from your experiences. So I hope that was cool for you. And we're just going to keep working on the list. And let me just get a little shuffle going. And I am queued or booked up. Subs can request a live reading, or people feel generous enough to leave the equivalent of like a $5 or $6 tip or bits, anything to help out the channel. But right now I am working on the queue. But also, it's if you have a Prime sub, that's a way to sub for free. And whenever I do terror streams, as long as you're subbed, you can get a free reading. But for the ones that I'm doing in queue right now, also people aren't here, and I'll link them the VOD with the timestamps later so they can watch it at their own convenience. I'm using an animal deck that I purchased from Cloverpuff at Anthrocon last year. Really fun deck. All of animals, and they were made by many different artists went in on it, so it's really cool to see the creativity. I'm just gonna shuffle, get a drink real quick. Let me mute my mic while I drink. Alright, the next reading I'm going to do is for Antarctican 20XX. A pretty fun name. So Antarctican 20XX, we do a 5-card spread, tells us a little about you, what's going on, and we just go from there. And I'll explain stuff on the way. So just keep shuffling. Want to get a good shuffle. I bought a new deck. I don't think I'm going to use it today because the cards are very dry and they don't shuffle very well. I know I have to break them in, but I won't be using them probably until the next stream or two. Okay, so 5-card spread. We start with the significator, and we just see where this whole adventure just begins. Let me pull that up. Okay, so we start with the first card, and we get the Tower. Ooh, I love the artwork in this one. Featuring the fawn, or like a deer. And I personally really like the Tower because it just means change. I know a lot of people could be like, oh, it means reckoning and ruin, but I don't know. I just think it means like change is coming. I mean, yes, it can mean reckoning and ruin. It can also mean a lot of positive change too. So let me pull up the chart. So yes, it can mean, here we go, disaster, destruction, upheaval, trauma, sudden change, chaos, broken pride, unavoidable change. But I also see it as being unavoidable change, or I guess I already said unavoidable change. Ready or not, change is happening. So this is like a change is just happening. And it can be, depending on your situation, how you apply it. It can be very traumatic, but I also see it as being very exciting, or maybe you're breaking free of the norm, or like letting go of what binds you. So it's a very to me, very exciting card. Let's see, Disaster and Destruction. I don't know what's going on with you or your surroundings, but I think the sudden change and the unavoidable change will probably apply the most to this. But it also talks about having trauma, so maybe dealing with some burdens of the past or even maybe recent stuff. And it's, well, kind of just wrecking your world, so to speak, which is, you know, big stuff happening like that is kind of normal, as in it affecting you is normal, not maybe the context of what's happening. Talks about chaos, so maybe not literal chaos, it could be also chaos in your head. It's stirring you with a bunch of emotions and don't know how to feel. Talks about destruction, again, that could be things around you, like the building, hence the card, the tower crumbling, or it could be you purging and the destruction of things that are binding you or negatively impacting you. Or it can also be, you know, destruction of positive things around you, but I feel like the card's more symbolic. It talks about just big change, ready or not, changing, blowing up who you thought you were, and just moving forward. But again, big stuff's happening. So with that, let's get to, now things start to get a little spicy. We go to the second card, which represents the obstacle, and this card may not necessarily be used against you, but it could be telling you, hey, pay attention to, or heeding a warning, or watch out for these traps, or if you're in a trap or dark space or fell, you know, in a bad spot, these could be clues to also help you get out of this bad situation. And these cards I play upside down or in reversed, and reversed tarot cards have alternate meanings. But I'll explain all on the way. So we get the Emperor, featuring the Sumatra tiger. But again, it's going to be in reverse, and it's going to have alternate meanings. But let me pull up the chart, and I'll read the regular meaning, and then I'll read the alternate. Normally it means like authority, structure, control, divine, masculine, unexpressed emotion, stability, and being practical and focused and discipline. I know the art from this stuff is really cool. I really enjoy it. It is Dove Tarot. And Clover Puff was selling it at her table at, she goes to conventions, and I saw it, so I thought it was really cool. Many different artists contributed to almost every single card, so there's many different art styles. But yeah, let me just Dove Tarot. Anyway, back to the reading. We got so this card is in reverse, so it's going to mean tyranny, tyrant. I guess those are kind of the same thing. Rigidity, coldness. Maybe getting a little cold, like giving people the cold shoulder. Domineering, rigid, stubborn, lack of discipline, and recklessness. So maybe you got a little full of yourself, or maybe not that you need to learn lessons, but like a lot of full of yourself. Oh, you sorry? Yeah, I think it's the rat with the paintbrush, right? But domineering, so you have a sense of a lot of control. Maybe it's overcompensate, or maybe you feel very insecure, or maybe you're very ignorant of the world, and it's like my way or the highway, or maybe you're less open to nuances, and you know, like say changing your mind or open to new things. So it's like very stubborn. You're like a rock, maybe like an old man set in his ways. You give people the cold shoulder. So again, you could be here, or maybe you could end up here if you're not careful. So it's, I hope you're not here, because maybe these can also then be tips or helpful guidance to get out. But again, it could be like trying to cross a bridge, but the bridge is broken. You know, there could be trap holes on the street. There could be a bump in the road, and your wagon can't get over it. It could be so many metaphors for the obstacle. Hopefully you work through that, and then if you're not in there, hopefully you don't fall in there into that trap, because that's a very vicious cycle of I'm right and the universe is wrong mentality. Won't really get you very far. I'm not saying you're there, but just as an example, not that again we can choose how open we want to be. We don't. Not everyone has to be completely open. It could take baby steps. It doesn't all happen overnight. All right, so we get to the third card, which is going to be positive influences, and hopefully we can see where this goes. We get the High Priestess. I already like where this is going. This is featuring a cub of a cheetah. The High Priestess, very high value meaning in my opinion. That I think she's like one of the coolest meanings in the whole idea. I mean, there's a lot of ideology and symbolism and mythology in the cards, but I just think the High Priestess has some very cool points. So intuition, unconsciousness or unconscious awareness, inner voice, mystery, spirituality, a higher power, and like past conditioning. So in this one, you maybe got out of that rut, maybe you never fell for it. But I'm gonna say you got out of it, and maybe you were stubborn. And sorry, there's no join command. I have the information pinned in the chat messages if you want to check it out. But so life is still a mystery, but at least you're learning to trust your intuition more. Maybe pay attention to some unconscious awareness, listening to your inner voice or heart more, or your brain. Just more than just, I guess, tunnel vision, or less binary of things are being on or off, or ones and zeros. You're looking in between in different aspects. Talks about mystery, so maybe you don't even have the answers or know what's going on, but I guess you're in a position now where you want to find out. And you're kind of excited to do more exploration of either yourself or the world around you or things that you're doing. And I like how it talks about spirituality. Maybe it's like an unconscious awareness or awakening that you had. It's like, or you're playing like an RTS game, like Command and Conquer, StarCraft, or whatever, where there's invisible units, and now you have stealth detection. And it talks about higher power, and I really like that because there's just some things in the world that cannot be explained. I know people want everything to be explained, and sometimes there's just a higher power than what we're aware of. And not necessarily a power controlling just a state of being or just life itself. There's more to it than what we know. We only know what we know. And like the ancestor says in Darkest Dungeon, you can't learn a thing you think you know. I mean, it's cool to know stuff, don't get me wrong. It's always good. But that's just one start, or again, interpretation to it, so. But let's go to the fourth card, which is going to be the near future. And fast forward a bit to see where this is going. And we get the Six of Wands featuring the fancy goldfish. So let me go to Wands and go to 6. All right, success, victory, triumph, rewards, recognition, praise, acclaim, pride, and public reward. So with this, maybe you did a lot of charity work, or just not necessarily charity work, you accomplished a lot, and you have a lot to show for it, you feel prideful and great, and now, I don't know, maybe you got literally the recognition that you deserved or were seeking. You have a sense of pride in the work or duty that you did, and more people recognizing and cheering for you. And I'm glad too you stopped here. I always like talking more and getting more people interested in this and meeting new people. And I do a variety of streams, so I don't have a set schedule. I kind of just do what I'm in the mood for and go from there. This one was another tarot deck I got. Let me show you real quick. It was the Sonic deck that just came out a couple of weeks ago. But the cards, I felt like I didn't vibe with them. The artwork was kind of okay. I can't shuffle them because I want to use this deck today, but it's cool to have because I just like I started getting more decks because I always just had like one. But Eventually, I'll use this when I break them in more. But sorry, I'm coughing. I'm just muting the mic and taking a quick pause. We got Antarctican 20XX. So good work on whatever. Sorry, good work on having success and triumph. People set goals. Not everything always works. It's a lot of trial and error. But at least with this, maybe you already went through a ton of trial and error, but you're getting more to of what you want, where you want to go. Again, this could be simple goals like, say, starting a family, getting a cool job, being more authentic and living a more authentic life, getting a house, going to university, reconnecting with old friends. We all set our personal goals in life. There's no, people think there's like one binary or one way of life of this is everyone's goal, and this should be everyone's hopes and dreams and expectations, but really, it comes down to every individual and their own ideas, and everyone's different. We're not all the same. But we are not done yet. We still have another. Hope that's not too bright. Looks fine on my screen. Let me see if I close the window a bit. No, the light's still going to reflect. Okay, we get to the fifth card, which is the long-term results. And this is where we just fast forward even more. Maybe it's the ending credits, maybe it's the final boss, or final challenge, or it could even be a cliffhanger like in the TV series. But either way, we get to the fifth card, and it is the Wheel of Fortune, featuring the Cloud Rat. I'm sure that's just a name, because it looks more like a cat to me, or like a lemur, but again, it's just a name. The Cloud Rat. And I'm pretty sure you can guess from the name Wheel of Fortune that it's a very positive, good. Not that there's bad cards, but it literally means change, cycles, fate, decisive moments, good luck, good fortune, or just fortune, unexpected events, doors opening, doors closing, hence the cycle part. And so again, the other card is very positive. It talked about all the good things, you worked hard, you have a sense of triumph, public reward, recognition.
Welcome to the asylum.
And now
enjoy
it's talking
your stay.
about change, cycle. So this could be the ending of a cycle. Hello. I have 723. I have the information pinned in the chat if you want to read that. I don't know if I have a how-to command, if I updated it. Let me see. How to. Yeah, no, just read the pinned message. I'm working off a queue right now, and subs can get a reading, or if you want to tip. I also do commissions for private readings, which I dig a little deeper and go a little bit longer into, and usually dedicate like 40 minutes to an hour. But for the for these live streams, I work off a queue, or if people want to join by subbing, tipping, bits equivalent to like about 5 or 6 USD, I'll do a reading. But if not, you can do it for free, but with channel points. You just have to save up a little bit. But either way, just sit back and enjoy. Right back to the reading. Unexpected events is kind of cool because maybe something got a wrench thrown into your plans, but it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. And now you're like, hey, this is like fate fell into your lap, something happened. Decisive moments, so a turning point, maybe you turn something around. It's still very good luck. It's kind of happy ending, but now it's like there's more to it. And this journey or this movie or this game, this book is done, and you're going to do the next thing because you're excited that another opportunity fell into your lap, or maybe you discovered something else you really wanted to do, and now you're going to go do that. So, like, well done, mission accomplished, on to the next. So I like how it's just going to have you go on to the next thing, and then you're very passionate, you're a go-getter, you want to see what the world has to offer. You're not afraid to explore and even have the chance or opportunity to pursue things, even if they don't work out. You're all about it. So now we're going to do a quick oracle card as a bonus. I'm using a witch deck, a novice witch deck. It's just kind of like a fortune cookie, cherry on top, a little
Welcome
extra.
to the asylum.
And
Enjoy
we're
your
gonna
stay.
just see, you know, it's a positive message, but we'll see what we get. We get the hat, which represents uniqueness. And don't be fooled, because this means, you know, being genuine to yourself. You're a little different. You're not like, you know, I don't know if you guys seen those movies where aliens or Martians, they all dress the same uniform, or it's like very Star Trek like, or this concept of like aliens or people that are bland all dress and wear and think the same. So this is saying, hey, you might want to put on a little hat, a little makeup or something, just a little razzle dazzle, a little something that makes your appearance more personal and not the same as everyone else. Not that you have to be very unique, but that you're not doing this like on purpose, or you're just genuinely more chill about it. And sorry, welcome in, Jazz. Currently doing readings off a queue. You can redeem with channel points, or the info's pinned in the chat messages if you want to read that. The Antarctican 20XX, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm just going to shuffle the deck some, and we'll get on to the next person in the list. This and shuffle. And Positive Impact, that's a pretty cool name. Especially the PAW. Let's shuffle and get things going.
Thanks for this sub. Now I've got you in your own padded
Oh,
cell.
snap. Thank you for the sub. I take it you'd like to get a reading? And if so, would you like a general reading, or do you have maybe some more specific question in mind? And you also don't have to decide now, because I'll be doing this probably for about 1 hour, maybe 2 hours. So another hour to hour and a half to go. And I try to do these at least twice a month. Back in July, oh no, it might have been June, I went overboard. I did it like, oh my god, I went like 3 or 4 hour streams, like 3 times a week. But thank you very much for the sub, and if you would like a reading, just let me know in chat, and I can squeeze you in between readings. Okay, I have a little spreadsheet here because I like to keep history and tabs before I do readings for. So I'll just quickly copy the name. Okay, and also timestamp it in case you want to watch the VOD later. I save the timestamps of people's readings too. So just a fun way, in case anyone's not here, I can still do the readings or have the content to do, and not have to worry about if there's an audience or not, because I'm still doing this for people. 47, we'll say 4720. All right, Jezza Turek. Let me just shuffle a little more. Yeah, and I have the timestamp down, so even if you want to write it down, it's about at 47 minutes. But I'll get right to it. They don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. I love a general message about overcoming inevitable change. So let's start that. So since we already have the question idea in mind, we'll just get right to it. I do in case you joined in, I don't know how much of the last reading you saw. I do a 5-card spread. Tells us a little bit about you and what's going on, and we just go from there. And the only card I play in reverse is the second one, which is the obstacle. I do have some rules to play other cards in reverse, like if I'm shuffling or drawing the card and it fumbles or spills, I'll play that in reverse, but that doesn't generally happen too much. So real quick, we'll start you off with The significator, first card, you gave me the question, the idea. This card is like, this card is you. And basically like your question or the idea. So let's go with Judgment, featuring the Caracol. I thought it was a Lynx. I think that's a Lynx of some kind. That's a Caracol. And this card also, again, Major Arcana cards have more, not, I would say more impactful meanings. I mean, they all have very impactful meanings, but you know, every other suit of cards you have 1 through like 14 or something, and there's 4 different suits, and the Arcana is the 5th suit. But anyway, Judgment, self-evaluation, awakening, renewal, purpose, reflection, reckoning. And so the card itself, the traditional card, you have people dying and being reborn. So this, when it talks about reckoning and reflection and having a sense of purpose and awakening, it's like almost like you died and you're reborn. Almost like another sub-death card, but like metaphorically, spiritually, or maybe your experiences led you to be reborn because of your experiences. But either way, card talks about self-evaluation. So you're thinking, contemplating about yourself. What am I doing? Where do I want to go? You know, just really taking the time. You're going to take the time to think, which is important because a lot of people don't kind of, I feel like, pay attention to themselves. They're so busy they overlook something really simple like yourself. Has been a night of that. No sleep last night, but I used to manifest a rebirth. So maybe you're purging and grieving over something, and now you can get rest. Or like, you know, again, rebirth, like a butterfly in a cocoon, you know, caterpillar, cocoon to butterfly. Like how it talks about purpose. Do you have a sense of purpose? Are you looking for one? Do you already have one? You know your purpose. You want to execute it and do that purpose. Maybe that's why you also feel kind of reborn. Because maybe you're stuck in a rut or a repeating cycle, and you kind of broke the cycle and getting change. And now that you're quote unquote free from that prison, it's like not only are you reborn, you have a sense of purpose. And now you're doing a lot of reflection because obviously this just doesn't happen. Your experiences happen, even if it comes from like emotional baggage. These experiences did lead you up to this moment. Because no one's ever going to know everything right away unless you experience it, because that's how we shape and mold ourselves or learn anything, is through doing or experiences and remembering. And let's see, it also talks about reckoning. So maybe you had something big happening. Maybe you had to say goodbye to a lot of people. Maybe you did some bad things and you paid the price, but now you're back. Or maybe you did some really good stuff, but then you still had to say goodbye to friends. You had to make a choice of, hey, do I want to better myself or others around me? Or, you know, maybe you had some friends and they weren't that good to you, and you decide to let go of the emotional baggage, and now you're ready to take on the world. Let's see, you say, yes, indeed, I know the purpose. Oh, sweet. Positive impact. Yeah, this card is pretty damn cute. Okay, Jesoteric. So now this is going to go to the second card where things get a little more mixed up and a little more spicy. Let's see, just been hitting obstacles. Just got to a place where I know that life and obstacles are going to be managed, not defeated. I hope with this obstacle card now, you'll either address warnings and be like, hey, watch out for this stuff, or keep this in mind, you can end up in a bad spot. Or maybe if you are in a bad spot, these could be clues on how to persevere and get through it, or even purge, trim the fat, purge the bad, or, you know, just get out of it. So it could be like being cock blocked. It could be a bump in the road. You're in a stagecoach and your wheel breaks. Trying to cross a mountain and the bridge in between is broken. You're trying to ford a river, but it's too deep. Or just simple trap holes. So just, you know, many symbolic, metaphorical meanings of an obstacle. It could even be your own mind blocking you. It could be other people. It could be things in your control. It could be things out of your control. But we're going to get to the obstacle. And the obstacle tarot card I will play in reverse and will have alternate meanings. So maybe the card, not necessarily, it could be used against you, or it could be like, hey, pay attention to this. But either we get strength, featuring the Chinese alligator, but it's going to be in reverse. So I'll still pull up the chart and read the normal chart, but then I'll let you know what it will mean in this case. So let me just pull up strength. Okay. So normally it means courage, bravery, confidence, compassion, self-confidence, inner power, focus, and like inner strength. but we got reversed. So it's going to mean self-doubt, weakness, low confidence, inadequacy, cowardice, forcefulness, and insecurity. So all the kind of opposite things of strength and mental fortitude. So let's just start first with the self-doubt. So maybe, even though you had the good reckoning, the reborn, a sense of purpose, maybe this plan or whatever's going on in your life, there's a lot of obstacles in front of you, and you know down the road. So it's a difficult path. And like you said before, maybe you know more about managing it. Or if you like, I like the game Darkest Dungeon, the whole game is about you managing very bad and stressful situations. But it talks about weakness, so maybe I mean, I know nobody. All right, your mate plays that one. Yeah, it's my favorite game. It's usually what I stream. I'm doing torchless runs. Back in January this year, I beat the game torchless without dying. It was so hard. And now when I get burned out from artwork or like just work in general or life, or when I need a relaxing break, I like to do the torchless run again and try to do it again. But this time I want to kill all the bosses. But sorry, back to the reading. Talks about weakness. So a lot of people don't like to admit they're weak. But people have this sense of pride that it's bad to be weak. But for me, it's also good to acknowledge it, because then you're aware of it. And you know, like some people, like just as an example, some people are afraid to say go to therapy and get advice or help because they don't want to be seen as weak. But I'm like, if you're weak and you're seeking help and willing to seek help, and you know, or just even asking for help, to me that's a sign of strength, or at least you want to overcome it. So like, okay, so what, you're weak. I'm not gonna, you know, not is someone gonna make fun of you for quote unquote being weak, or are they gonna admire or be happy or glad for you that you're trying to get stronger or seek help? Let's see, I have a tough outer shell that could be softer and probably make me stronger. But anyway, weakness, so this could talk about you being weak on the inside, but you're putting on an act. Or there could be a weakness you discovered that you didn't know you had, and you don't know how to deal with it, and it's kind of irking you because it caught you off guard. Maybe someone did something that rubbed you the wrong way, and then when you thought about it more, you're like, oh, like someone exposed or found a weakness in you, or maybe you found something weak about yourself, and maybe you want to change. Hey, Chip. One sec. But maybe something about yourself that you found that you want to change. Um, okay, low confidence, so you're not really feeling that good. Inadequacy, again, feeling out of place, feeling off. Cowardice, maybe you're afraid to stand up for yourself or do not necessarily I would say the right thing, because right and wrong is also perspective based. I know there are some clear right and wrong things, so that's putting a label on it, but anyway. Or maybe you're running. Also, you could be running from yourself and you don't know how to deal with it. Or maybe you discovered something about yourself and you didn't know how to feel about it. And as time went on, maybe a more authentic you or a curious part about yourself pops up. And it's like you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to confront it. You're not running away from it necessarily, but you're not embracing it either. So it's like this really gray area of not knowing what to do or how to feel. And it's causing you to be at a standstill. Let me see. Oh, it's not an act, but I could be softer with people, and being softer with people is a strength. Yeah, afraid people will be toxic to me, so in that I need more strength. That area. And then the card talks about forcefulness and insecurity. So forcefulness, maybe you're trying to act too harshly, rashly, or like, you know, trying to force things to happen instead of having things go with the flow. And or basically trying to make something I mean, we have to make things happen. We can't just wait for things to fall in our lap. But maybe you're overdoing it and nothing's happening because you're trying to force it. It's not organically happening, if that makes any sense. I mean, you still have to do stuff and make opportunities happen, but it's like maybe in this case you're trying to force results, kind of a thing, or get through this as fast as possible, even though it might be like a slow chill journey or something, or like a ride at an amusement park, like a roller coaster. you get up to the top and you're having second thoughts, and then you just want out or you want to bail, but you can't, and you have to see it through. Yeah, I got to get the organic process to happen at the same time. And it also talks about insecurity, so maybe, again, that goes hand toe to toe with self-doubt, that the insecurities are cock-blocking you from doing more of what you want. Maybe this, again, the inadequacy, insecurity of you, maybe too afraid of what others think, or maybe you're afraid what you want to do or things you're interested in other people might perceive poorly, or even almost like a fear of rejection. And you just kind of want to exist, you want to do your own thing, but it's like, maybe the card will also talk about relying less on external validation and saying more like, screw it, I want to do my own thing. I want to live genuine, I want to be me, I want to live. I don't want to please others. I'm not just another domino in the string, I'm just another peg or a piece of society's puzzle. I am my own entity, I'm my own being. I have my own hopes and dreams. Because if everyone was the same in the world, life would be fucking boring. So, and we're not mechanical like worker bees or worker ants, where it's all like a hive mind setting where we only work for the queen or whatever. It's like we are all individuals. Whoops, that wire just fell. Let me move that. Okay. So that, again, so you're probably in that spot. I wouldn't say this card's a warning, like be careful, you're in there now. So this card, even though people might see it as being negative, I see it as being, hey, you're kind of in this rut, maybe take a step back, see the bigger picture, and work on these issues so you get out of this rut, or grow and get out of this. And by doing that, we're going to get to the third card, which is positive influences, almost like not a reward for purging or acknowledging your shadow or whatever, but just you worked hard, so of course you're going to level up in the sense of like a RPG game. But let's see what card we get. We get the Star, featuring the White Fox. And if anyone is familiar with that, the Star is a very hopeful and optimistic card. Let me pull that up. So a very good spot to be in, with the card representing, the third card representing positive influences. The Star represents hope, faith, inspiration, renewal, healing, and rejuvenation. So you couldn't really have asked for a better card. Maybe death, but this is less purging and more of just, you have faith, you feel rejuvenated and renewed, healing has begun, so addressing those maybe not so cool things or bad things or bad qualities or things you purged or worked through, whatever. Not that you're rewarded, but you feel much better. You're being more genuine. You're going to feel at ease more. The big thing is things are going to flow more organically now. So maybe it's just you had to be honest with others, or being honest with yourself. Maybe other people had to be honest with you. But you have hope in the future. You have faith in the process or whatever it is that you're doing. But the big part about the card is inspiration. You're inspired to do more. You feel better. You feel like you can take on the world, and maybe you're even inspiring other people around you, or others inspired, maybe the people you met along the way also inspired you to do more. So it goes both ways. It's, like friendships, they're two-way streets. But either way, inspiration is around you. Either you are the inspiration or you're inspiring others. Things are looking really up. But there's not too much to say about this one other than just really good job looking forward. Maybe you're going to be more genuine and authentic. Maybe you got the courage to stand up to some people. Maybe found a better way of being. But either way, you have hope in the future. It's healing because you're doing maybe more of what you want to do. You're more authentic to yourself, being more genuine. Maybe even coming to terms with yourself or coming to terms with others. I am indeed. Not long ago, that world was massive. Now, not so much. Now we're going to get to the fourth card, which is the near future. So we're just going to fast forward a little bit and see how this journey or this game or this story about you or your script or your life is going. We get the Page of Wands with the Kokwa. I don't know what that is, but it's cute. Let me get to Wands and hit up the page. Alright, Page of Wands. Adventure, excitement, fresh ideas, cheerfulness, energetic, fearless, extroverted, exploration, freedom. So holy shit, that's like another double whammy of positive influences that you were in. The other cards talk about being inspired. Now you have excitement. You feel free, so maybe you let go of things that are binding you. Maybe it was a living situation, a relationship situation, maybe it was your job, just who knows, but you're literally more free. And now that you're free, it's like a whole new world open up to you. It was like living in a village your whole life, and then everyone always told you there's nothing beyond the forest, and don't go or you'll die type of a thing. You know, scare people to not leave the village or go beyond certain boundaries. And like one day you're like, there has to be more out there. There was a bunch of scary stuff, but then when you got through the forest, you're like, oh, there's an entire freaking world out there. And then you realize how small your village was, and now you want to see all the things, you want to do you want to see the world. And it talks about being extroverted, so you know you got to be more outgoing and more of a go-getter. Even if it involves talking to more people, you just want to do and see more. You want more from life because the entire world just expanded. And it talks about fresh ideas, so maybe again you get inspired on your journeys. Maybe you learn like new recipes of food, you know, just literally anything. You have all these ideas coming in. You're very cheerful, optimistic. You're fearless, not afraid of rejection as much anymore, because you'd rather, you know, go and do something, try it, or experience something. And even if you don't like it, that's the best part. You don't have to do it again. So it's not like, even say we did something, you're like, yeah, that was a waste of time. I wouldn't really say it's a waste of time, because now you know you're not into that, or you don't want to do that again. But you know, you also find a bunch of stuff you are into and like, and you're like, yeah, I want to do that again, or I want to do more of that, or things like that. So it's still a very good in my opinion. And the card also talks about, well, just freedom and exploration. So you have, I know it's going to sound cliche, the world is your oyster type of a thing, and you can do all the things. Let me read your chat now. Now, something I was holding on to, I realized that I was mad about something that happened in my past, but I'm moving beyond that. This allows me to work harder on a project, and yeah, it's about trying new things. Chip says, knowing what you don't want is just as important as knowing what you want. Absolutely. Because I know what I want, but there's also things I don't know that I want, and it works both ways. And you know, I know what I don't want, but there's also things I'm not aware of that I don't want or won't want if I knew more about them. So again, this is all in a super spiral positive not turnaround, but it's going very up and up and up and up and up. So now we're going to get to the fifth card, which is the long-term results, and could be the ending credits, could be the final raid dungeon boss, it could be a cliffhanger to be continued, TV series or season finale type of thing. But either way, let's jump right into it and see what we get. And with the Two of Pentacles, featuring the Angora goat, and this is one of the favorite artworks in this deck. And the meanings of this card is also very, 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 very awesome and vibey. Go to Two of Pentacles. Okay, Two of Pentacles, balancing resources, adaptation, resourcefulness, flexibility, stretching resources, balanced decisions, priorities, adapting to change, almost like living multiple lives or too much on your plate and you're trying to figure out how to balance everything. But you also have to make decisions and choices and prioritize. So very fun, but also not this good or bad card. So it's a very kind of life deciding, not deciding card, but like it brings a good question to the table is, are you taking more than you can handle? You're living multiple lives. Are you going to figure out what you want to do? You can't please everyone. You want to do all the things. You're trying to do all the things. And you're slowly coming to terms that you can't. At least not all at once. So now you have to prioritize, what do I want to do now? What do I want to do later? What am I passionate about? What do I feel good about? And so you have a lot on your plate, probably too much, but you do basically want to finish your meal, but you're just trying to figure out, okay, I got to eat this in a certain order. Talks about balancing resources. So again, time is a resource, money's a resource, actual resources are a resource. So it's like, you got to balance them, you got to prioritize. It could even be simple, say we're talking about money, just budgeting. You got to be able to adapt on the fly and be adaptable. Life throws so many curveballs. RNG. Talks about being flexible again, which is also being adaptable. Be able to go with the flow. Don't let someone throw you off balance, but also to go with the flow at the same time. Talks about stretching resources. So there might be a time where you're lacking some resources, but since you're resourceful and you know how to stretch them, you can still get the task done or get through maybe some hardships because of your experiences and knowing how to budget and do things. And that also goes with time, not just money. The big thing is balancing decisions. So you do have to make choices. I mean, we all have a choice, even if they're not good ones. But it's time to, maybe focus on some things like a laser beam or get some tasks done rather than doing everything. Because I like to do everything at once, but then if I don't focus, I never end up getting anything done because I'm doing everything. So this is saying, hey, you might have to prioritize and focus like a laser beam for a bit, not in your entire life, but like just overall to get things done in a timely manner of what you expect from yourself or others expect from you. It's just to, but also you want to avoid burnout. So this could also be like, take it slower, really think about what you want to do, how you want to do it. Let me read. Thanks for the read so far. Also, if you want a Q bot, look up Play with Viewers bot on Google and just follow links. I might, but because everything is on the queue, I just take like and then I don't know if the bot. Well, I should look into it. The bots interact with subs or not, because again, people have to redeem channel points and stuff. And usually I'm here anyway, so I can just jot it down. But I should probably automate the system a bit more. Let's see, row your own boat, but don't go against the strong current, sort of thing. ADHD life for me. But yeah, so just prioritize. But again, this is like the final card, long-term results. So it's just like, hey, since the world, because the fourth card talk about your world expanding.
To the asylum.
Thank you,
Enjoy your stay.
The card talked about expanding, seeing a whole new world. So now for the final card, it's like, hey, even though the world has unlimited things to offer, or near unlimited, that your horizons expanded so much that there's almost like too much to do. But that's not really a bad thing, because it's always nice to have things to do, and kind of excited to see where that goes. And then now we're going to do an oracle card for you, which is a little bonus. Yeah, too much and not enough. And again, you're prioritizing, so you can choose what to do, how to do it on your own pace. But here we're going to do the oracle card for you, which is just a bonus. And we get the dog, which represents loyalty. And again, we all choose who we're loyal to. We shouldn't be loyal to someone because they expect us to, but because we want to. It's a two-way street as well. But say someone's mistreating you or treating you unfairly, you have no obligation to be loyal to them. And then if you want to free yourself from that, people might boo or hiss at you or say you're being a terrible person, but like, no, the loyalty is given, it's not taken, or it's earned, I guess. But people take it and expect it, and just something to remember, that we choose who we're loyal to, and for many different reasons. It could be anything from loyal to a person, a partner, friends and family. It could even be a brand of like food or clothing that we buy. But we choose who we're, and it also switches. Once you're loyal to someone, it doesn't mean you permanently have to be loyal to them. Things change. Maybe they betray you. Maybe you betray them. You know, trust can be broken. Yada yada yada. So it's always infinitely going. I think a lot of people have a hard time with that concept that shit happens, things change, and or people can change their minds simply on a whim, or if you know you have a certain experience or maybe get more information about something, you're gonna change your mind. So I hope that was really cool for you. I appreciate the sub and support. I want to get back into doing these at least twice a month. Or maybe once a week if I could squeeze it in. It really depends because I don't want to get burned out. There's 1 month I did like a bunch of readings. Another month I just did nothing but Darkest Dungeon. Another month I did a little mix of everything. So, all right, have a good one and thanks again for the reading. And Auntie, readings are free if you save up channel points, or if you're subbed, you can get a free reading. Or if you don't like subs and emojis, there's always a tip or bits equivalent to like $5 or $6 USD. Or if not, you can just save up channel points. That's a free way to do it, and it also helps. Anything really helps supports the channel and the growth of it. So I always appreciate it, even the lurkers and people even just taking an interest. But yeah, Jesoteric, I hope that was cool for you. Enjoy the lurk. I hope to do at least one of these next week. If not, maybe the week after. I do have some artwork I have to do, and I'm not sure if I do artwork online. If I talk too much, my art slows down. So like if I ever, not that I have deadlines, but if I want to really just get stuff done with my art, I have to focus like a laser beam. And sometimes, I want to stream it. If I stream it, I just slow down. Not that I have to go fast, but it's like, it's more distracting for me. So with that one done, let me pull up the chart. Okay, it is 1 hour, 15 minute, 45 seconds. Okay, this reading is for Heckle Fang Yin, and Heckled Fang Yin, do a 5-card spread, tells us a little about yourself and just see where you're going, how, now, in the moment. It's not addressing any specific question. It's just the state of you. I'm reading your script or your life story and where it might be going, just looking into you. And let me just shuffle. Again, 5-card spread. Second card is the obstacle, and I play that card in reverse. And reversed cards have alternate meanings. But I'll explain as I go along. And just get a good shuffle going. And I'm using an animal deck. So every tarot card in this deck is represented by an animal. And then at the end, I do a bonus oracle card draw, which is just that quick, like, positive message. Or like a little extra spice or like an extra cherry on top, fortune cookie at the end of the meal. All right. So you say that as I'm doing the reading for somebody. So let me just put this one in pause, and I'll go back and add you to it. Copying the name. Just give me 1 second. Bear with me. Update this on my end. 1 hour, 17 minute, 25 second. Okay, Hex, so I don't know if you were here when I was saying that. I do a 5-card spread. It tells us a little about you. It's not really addressing any specific thing. Unless you have a general question you would like to ask me. If not, we'll just get right into it. I'll leave it up to you. Well, that's hard to ask because 1, this is about you. And 2, that's kind of, these have to pertain to you. So that's why I do the general reading to see what's going on, because, if you're asking a question like that, I don't know the age of your father, the physical condition, mental condition. If there's like, okay, we can go with that. Will I write a good doctoral thesis? Again, you're giving me a yes or no question, so the reading might be, we can still try to apply it the best I can, but you're giving me like yes or no questions, so it's like you might get a yes or no type of answer. That's cool, but it also might be very vague at the same time. But you know, that's what the cards are for. Let me just change the song on my end, and we will get right into it. Let me just loop that for myself. Okay. All right, thanks for waiting. Do a 5-card spread. The first card is the significator, aka you, your question, and I'll try to address it the best that I can. So we start with the world, featuring the red panda. Look at this guy. All right, so the world, I'm not sure if you're familiar with tarot cards, but it's a very positive, big completion card. It means completion, achievement, fulfillment, sense of belonging, wholeness, harmony, new beginnings, cycles changing. You know, chapters closing, another one opening, things are coming to an end, things are starting, possible travel. Because again, it's the world. But I guess the big thing is here the completion and achievement and fulfillment. That like good job, GG. But this is also the very first card. So we have a whole reading to.
Thanks for this
Let me
sub.
see if I can zoom
Now
in.
I've got you in your own padded cell.
And Auntie, thank you for the sub. I take it that means you would like a reading, which I can get to after this if you would like. But I really appreciate and so grateful for the support. Really trying to grow the readings more and the channel more and just my general brand more. And tarot card readings is one thing I'm really genuinely into and enjoy. So I see other people's enjoying or even just like taking an interest. It's always cool. But yeah, so you got the panda, or I'm sorry, the world. And it's a very positive card. But this is just the beginning, so it's also like a story. So we get to see how it unfolds. So let us go and see how this turns out. Now the second card is going to be the obstacle. This is where things get a little spicy. Things to take a turn. Literally, it's the obstacle. It could be something impeding your path. It could be a difficult raid boss. It could be you getting cock blocked. It could be you trying to cross a broken bridge. It could be even just something as simple as a warning of, hey, there's trap holes here, watch out. So it could be used against you, or it could be helpful. I think it more is helpful guidance to address potential issues and maybe tips on how to get through it. So it's always there's people like, oh no, it's used against me. But I'm like, hey, at least you, not again necessarily against you, but it's addressing something, or maybe bring something to your attention that needs addressing. And this is like, hey, don't ignore this. Or you could end up in a bad spot, or if you're in a bad spot, it can be like, hey, this is maybe some tips and guidance how to get out of it. But so let's get to the second card, because this is where things start getting a little spicy. And we get Judgment, featuring the Caracal. But we saw this earlier today, but it's going to be in reverse, so it's going to have alternate meanings. So let me just pull up the chart for that. I remember most of the normal meanings, but when we get to the reversed ones, since I see them less, everyone should always have a chart with them, because you're not going to memorize every single thing. But normally it means, again, self-evaluation, awakening, renewal, purpose, reflection, and reckoning, and like rebirth, and like reconciliation. But in reverse, it's going to mean self-doubt, lack of self-awareness, failure to learn lessons, self-loathing. So this now, even though you're on top of the world with the world, things are looking great. something's not quite right. And I don't mean right as in right or wrong, but it just says you have self-doubt. Everyone might have, to a certain degree, self-doubt. But this is like really eating you up. It's causing you to loathe about yourself more. Lack of self-awareness, so maybe you're not aware of your surroundings or just yourself in general. It could be something as how you talk to people. It could be your mannerisms. It could be your thought process. It could be so many things, but this card specifically addresses you. And so maybe just be more mindful of yourself, maybe how you do things, not for the sake of others, but just for the sake of your own self-growth and awareness that, like as a kid, you're on autopilot. I don't know what age your like self-awareness turns on, or sentient awareness, or whatever you want to call it. Like I think I was 2 years old. My family tells me I thought I was 4, but my family says I was 2. It's almost like you wake up. It's like you're on autopilot, but then like you become self-conscious and self-aware. So I was like 2 years old. I was walking down the hallway and I was just naked. That was to me at least, that was my very first memory of when I could like recall the furthest back to. So imagine just like everything's black and you wake up and you're like, whoa, you're just standing somewhere and you're like a little kid. And that's your first memory. Or if not my first memory, it was like the first that I could remember. And one of my oldest brother's first memory was he was going down a slide and he woke up, or like became aware or whatever, when he was on the slide. So imagine just like opening your eyes and you're going down a slide. So some people say they can't remember that, some people say they do or don't, but for me, yes, I am a scientist. That's you. Appreciate it. Oh, the little red panda. So this also talks, so again, and maybe a big one here, since you're talking about school and your thesis, and that says your failure to learn lessons. So maybe you do something time and time again and you're getting the same results, but you're not doing anything to break the cycle. It could either be failure, it could be lessons with people, or failing to notice people's feelings, or even your own. So this card talks about, got a lot of cords under my table. I gotta do some cable management soon. um you're not learning lessons. I'm not like anyone's, like, oh, bad dog, or you did bad. I hope you learned your lesson. It's just more like maybe things aren't clicking with you, and then you may be wondering why certain things are the way they are, why things aren't changing. But it's just like, you're not aware. Well, that's where the lack of self-awareness is also taking a toll, because you can't learn much if you're not aware of the issues. Yes, I did learn to rarely trust people. So just also, maybe you keep getting burned by people, broken promises, and things keep repeating. And again, this is just an example. Like in your mind, you're like, why does this keep happening? But you're not, almost like you're not putting two and two together. So, but you're also unaware of it. So, of course, it's going to be extra hard for you or anyone in your situation to just see. Someone else might be able to point it out really simple, because they see it. They're not you. They're seeing it as a third party from another perspective, but you're in it. You're unaware of it. So it's like, how are you supposed to remedy it or work with it or work through it if you don't know what's going on? So I guess in a sense, you got to identify maybe potential things that are going on, but you're not aware of them. So it also makes it harder to identify what's going on, because you don't even know what you're looking for or what you should be trying to identify. Let's see. I did learn. I'm gonna wait for the next step in my back, but this time I break the opponent's hand. So at least do a lot of internalizing. Look in yourself. Something's not quite right. You can figure it out. And also, again, this could be a warning that don't get full of yourself. You can end up here, or you can be already here, and these can be clues and helpful guidance how to get out of here. The thing was like a trap hole or like a little pit, and now you got to figure out how to get out. So with that, we're going to get to the third card, which is positive influences, and just see what you've learned, how life's treating you. And we get the Four of Wands, featuring Iberian lynx. Look, there's a parent and the child, and they look at the butterfly. Let me pull up Four of Wands. All right, it means community, home, celebrations, reunions, parties, gatherings, stabilities, and belonging. So very nice and positive, warm and cozy card. Because the other one was talking about lack of self-awareness and not learning lessons. The first card was talking about completion and fulfillment. And now we're getting to more stability, home. You're talking about school with your thesis. So maybe you're away at, like as an example, you're away at school. Now you're coming home. You're celebrating. You graduated. You got your degree or whatever. You set yourself out to do. Almost like having, like a graduation party type of a thing. Reunions or seeing some people that you haven't seen in a while, family members, cousins, relatives, throw parties, you have a gathering, you have a sense of stability now, almost like you did like a job well done, and you're taking a slight reprieve and a moment to relax and just celebrate in revelry and good times, because yes, you say finish school, but there's still more to do in life, like maybe work, or maybe you want to go back to school or get like your doctorate degree or master's or whatever. So it's almost like job well done, and now you're going to relax and party for a bit and then on to the next thing. But I really like how, at least positive stuff. And let's see, could be a party in a strip club or just continue learning. I am a MCS. Okay, already. So again, party, just good times, fun, well-deserved rest, or science. Okay, cool, Master of Science. But yeah, so at least it's going in a positive direction, that you maybe worked on the issue. From the reversed judgment card, you got through it, you worked with it, and not that you have to be rewarded, but things are looking up and better for you because you took time to address things that you might have been oblivious to begin with. But again, of course, anyone's going to be oblivious to anything if they're not aware of it. So it's like these things were brought to your attention, and half the time people will either dismiss it or they'll look into it more. So at least you had the know-how, or maybe the curiosity even, to look into it more, even if you knew it was like full of shit or wasn't going anywhere, or it was, say, wrong, but you were still interested just to see another perspective. Aware of the darkness in my heart / everywhere. Yes, I'm aware of it. Okay, now we're going to fast forward a little bit and go to the fourth card, which is going to be the near future, and we're going to just see how this is still going for you. And yeah, just excited to see the fourth card. And we get the 9 of Swords, so this is going to be interesting, and this is a harbor seal. So let me pull up that. S9 of S words. Okay, so fear, anxiety, negativity, breaking point, despair, nightmares, isolation, hopelessness, and trauma. So we got some work to do now because things are looking good. Maybe things weren't as how you thought things weren't as they seemed. And now maybe you're riding on the high life of good times, but maybe you had some emotional baggage or things from the past just eating away at you, gnawing at the back of your mind, and now they're kind of coming to surface. Or maybe you had some shadow work to do in your shadow, or say like inner child or something, and you never addressed it, and now it's manifesting into the real world more because you didn't take the time to nurture the other side of you, or like even address maybe some potential issues. So almost think of it as like a light side or dark side, yin yang, or heads or tails of a coin, that a lot of people, when they hear the word shadow or dark side of themselves, they try to shun it and ignore it. But sometimes you need to address it and talk to it, and potentially even for some people, embrace it and nurture it because it's a part of you. But most people just shove it into the back, and then they ignore it, and it gets kind of out of control, and it manifests in bad ways. It could be taking a toll on you mentally. It could even get to the point where it takes a toll on you physically. It's like you got to know how to balance yourself. So this could be addressing that, like, hey, you're riding on these good times, you worked hard, but you're basically ignoring something about yourself. And now it's like, well, now it's in front of you and you have to deal with it more. So, and that could be causing you the anxiety and fear, negativity and despair, nightmares. Maybe it's your past coming back to haunt you. Maybe you just feel bad or remorseful for something you did to others, People might have mistreated you, you might have mistreated them, but you feel isolated now. So even though like you were on top of the world, things are going good, but now you're just like something's eating you up. Or let's see, yes, you did one shitty thing. Also, could just be you ignoring yourself. And now, regardless if you did a shitty thing or good or bad thing, that you ignored yourself, and now it's like, hey, you can't ignore or sweep this issue under the rug anymore. It's like we have to deal with it now, identify it, and work through it. And not just get rid of it for the sake of getting rid of it, because that's just burying it again and sweeping it under the rug. And this is a part of you. So do you really want to throw away a part of yourself and ignore it? Or do you want to nurture it, listen to it, and like basically work with it? So of course, this is going to cause maybe some isolation. You don't know how to feel. It says trauma, so hopefully nothing too bad's going on. Hopelessness, because maybe it's something you about yourself you want to change, but you can't, and you feel like shit because it's something that may be out of your control, and that could be the thing eating you up. Or it could be something you don't know the solution to. I had enough trauma and I am working on it. Okay. It's always working on it, it's always good. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but even bad things, we just need to acknowledge it happened so we can free ourselves from it. Or at least not bury, just don't bury it in the past. So this is just saying, hey, so now you did all the good times, say you graduated, you got your degrees and stuff, but now it's saying, hey, all these good times have happened, but now we have to get back to some emotional baggage or things from the past that needed attention. And maybe you were too busy to deal with them or acknowledge them, but now that you've gone through the school and stuff, now it's like, okay, that chapter of life is done, but we have some unfinished business, and that's where you are right now. So we still have a fifth card, the long-term results, and we'll see where this is going. It could be a to be continued cliffhanger, it could be an ending credits, it could be preparation for the final boss or act. It could be so many things, but let's just take a look. I get the Queen of Wands, represented by the chicken, the generic chicken. Okay. Now let's go to Wands and take a look. Queen, 13. All right, confident, self-assured, passionate, determined, social, charismatic, vivacious, optimistic, courage, and joy. So this card, the one before it, the one that had all the despair and stuff, was talking about isolation, but now this one's talking about being social, charismatic. You feel better, you feel renewed, you feel good. So you worked out this card, worked out those things in the past, maybe things you want to change about yourself, maybe reconcile with people, just came to terms with something. Either way, working on yourself in that way and like acknowledging, even if non-cool things happen, just working with it and through it. It's like another sense of being reborn, that you feel so refreshed, you're naturally going to be happier, your passion's flowing again. So maybe before, like, this stuff was really keeping you down, but it's literally literally a burden has been lifted upon your shoulders, and you feel lighter, and now you're walking on cloud 9. You can emote better, you can communicate better, you can think better, you can get along with people better, just like everything's going in a very good direction. And I like how the part says about being passionate and charismatic, because passion is a really good thing that drives us in life. Because if we weren't passionate about something, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be doing it. I know people say like go to school or something for money, just to get a job. But I like to think of people to go to school for things they're interested in or things they actually care about. Because at least here in the States, people are taught in public schools and stuff to basically, you're a worker A or B, get a job, that's your purpose in life. Keep the cogs, I guess, of society going, but they never really teach you to explore or do things that you actually care about. Like in school, they teach you things that you're probably not as interested in, and it's only for money, for the sake of securing a future job. But with like AIs and stuff coming, getting more popular, a lot of people are being replaced because people only know how to do those tasks that they were conditioned to learn. I know that's not for everybody, because I know some people go to school because they are passionate about it, they are into it, and they just want to learn for the sake of it, even though it's a lot of money. But like they're actually genuinely interested in what they want, and then even if they're not passionate, they're interested, and they want to pursue it regardless of the money. Oh my fucking god, I know what my near future is. Joe, my girlfriend wants to get some cards too. Would you do that? I'll use 6K when I have them. I have right. Yeah, so after this reading, I'm going to do Auntie's reading, and then we can come back to Joe's reading. But so that's the reading, but we're going to do the bonus oracle card now, which is just like a positive encouragement, positive message. A little compliment. It's like cherry on top or a fortune cookie. And let's see what we get. We get runes, which represents magic. So magic can be interpreted in many ways. You're magical, but I think in this case, it also could be like the flow of life or just going with the flow. Things happen, but also a sense of mysteriousness. But the big one here is inspiration and passion, hence magical. So you're being more authentic. Things are flowing better. You're more creative. And when we're allowed to be creative and passionate, things just flow better. Instead of being strict or reserved and holding back, it's like you feel free to, I guess, be you or be what you're into. So Hex, I hope that was cool for you. I'm going to shuffle the deck, and then I'm going to get to Auntie's reading. And then after I do Joe's, I'll probably wrap it up. Wait, are you going to do the... So, do you want to be here for when I do Joe's? Or... because I was going to do it after Auntie's, and then I can link you the VOD with the timestamp. Or is Joe here now? Because I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tomorrow. My brother's coming up, and him and a friend are going to be here for like a week. So I may not be able to squeeze in a stream until next week, depending on it. Or at least a terror stream I may not be able to squeeze in for a bit. So let me know. A super substep. But Hex, let me know if you want me to do Joe's reading next terror stream, or if you wanted me to do it after Auntie's this stream. Joe, look. Does that mean? And yes, hand reveal. Okay. Well, either way, I'm going to do Auntie's reading, so just let me know. Oh, snap. Even a Niv is telling Joe to look. Either way, I'm going to do Auntie's first. So if you have to go Hex, just let me know in chat, and I'll read it after, and then I'll go from there. Because I can do it after Auntie's reading, or if you want to wait till the next tarot reading stream, I could do it then as well. There's no rush. I do plan to do at least 1 or 2 more this month. So, Auntie, are you there? Are you here? Because I'm going to get to your reading. But I want to make sure you're here. In the meantime, I'm just going to shuffle. Yeah, Auntie, I'll do yours now because you've been waiting. So did you want a general reading, or did you maybe have a question that we can try to answer? Just keep in mind the questions usually pertain about yourself, maybe more about self-discovery. It's not like a yes or no question. But let me know, because I usually do general readings, but let me know if there's something more specific or like a topic more you want me to address. Or if you just want to see where the cards go, we can go from there and just go with the flow. Right. So let me do the timestamp. Onto we'll say 143. Okay, Auntie. Let's see. Happy to let you card speak. Sweet. Okay, it's an hour and 43 minutes in. If you ever want to watch it, I do keep the VODs up for as long as Twitch lets me. I forget how long that is. So you can always revisit them or show people if you want, and at least know it's your reading. I do a 5-card spread. Each one has a little meaning to it. The first one's pretty much straightforward. You, the question itself, or just the start of it, or the significator. Just, you know, the start of your journey, or if you're playing a game or reading a book, you're opening the book. Second card is the obstacle, and I play those cards in reverse, and reverse cards have alternate meanings. Third card, positive influences. Fourth card, the near future. And the fifth card is like long-term results. So let us begin. And then at the end, I also do a bonus oracle card. But I just changed the song real quick for myself. Okay. So the first card for you we get is the High Priestess, which we previously saw. It has a cheetah on it. But this time it's played in the beginning, so it's the start of everything. But let me just pull it up. Let me turn on the light. It's getting a little dark in here. Does that help? I think it helps. All right, the High Priestess. Intuition, unconscious, inner voice, mystery, spirituality, and a higher power. Also talks about past conditioning or like emotional baggage of the past, listening to your heart, you know, things that are more than just, I guess, being practical and like physical plane. And like our thoughts, it's like, you know, people say listen to your heart, listen to your brain, listen to your body, but there's also like listen to your soul. So just another level of being, I guess, could be another way to describe it. And so it talks about intuition, so naturally trust your instinct more. To me at least, it never goes wrong, your gut feeling. Whenever I have hard decisions to make and I really am stuck, I can't make up my mind, I just usually go with my gut on it. Even though it's wrong, it's better than, say, being persuaded or convinced by someone else to do something I may have not wanted to do. I'd rather still do it, not necessarily my way, but like, you know, it be my decision. It also talks about mystery, so maybe some behind the scene things are going on. Either secrets are coming out about you, or you're discovering things about yourself you didn't know before. It could also apply to you finding out secrets about someone else, or them finding out about you. So it could be, you know, it goes in many directions. It also talks about the inner voice and unconsciousness and unconscious awareness. So again, just maybe you had like an awakening before, and now something that wasn't on your radar before is now in your life. And now, again, you've learned, or maybe like on a radio, you have AM, FM, XM, different frequencies, and you discovered another frequency of that radio or radio station to listen to, but it's about yourself. So it's like a different frequency about yourself that you discovered, and now you want to look more into it, or you maybe even want to embrace it, or who knows, maybe you might even be scared that you discovered something about yourself and now you don't know how to feel, or feel a little uncertain. Not necessarily good or bad, it just like came out of nowhere, this type of awakening or self-discovery. Talks about spirituality, so maybe you're looking more, maybe not even faith or like the church, but just more out there. So I know a lot of people just think about, no, oh, what do you do in life? Money, food, house, work, car. And on a lot of people's mind, hobbies don't exist. But like here, you're like, I want more from yourself. You have more hobbies, you have passions, you have more interests, I should say. And maybe you pick up more hobbies and like you're into more and you want to pursue these things more and learn more about them, and also learn more about yourself. So that's just a general start. We're going to get, now this is where things are going to get spicy, is the second card, the obstacle, is played in reverse. Reverse cards have alternate meanings. Card may or may not be used against you, but I like to think of it as used to inform you about, or maybe a warning, and it could help you, guide you to get out of a bad spot that you may be in, or hopefully it's a it could be a warning, hey, there's these trap holes around here, don't travel this path, go this way. Or you could already be in, say, trouble, and this will help you get out. Or it just may even be like, hey, You need to address these potential issues now. Stop putting it off. Thanks, that's great. Appreciate that. Thanks. But so let's get to the second card. We got the Wheel of Fortune featuring the Cloud Rat. Again, reverse. We saw this one earlier as well, and it means decisive turning point, completing cycles, opportunities, doors opening, fortune, yada yada yada. But now it's in reverse, so we get to see what the dark side or the other potential meanings mean. Bad luck, lack of control, clinging to control. So you have no control, but since you feel like you have no control, you're desperately trying to control stuff. Unwelcome change and delays. And this one's pretty interesting because one, bad luck. Luck happens. I know some people don't believe in good or bad luck. It's just, to me, RNG, random number generator, like, in games. Things happen, so maybe something happened bad to you, or a bit of bad luck, and now you're in a rut. You're not fully, you have a lack of control. That could be either about yourself or maybe of a situation that you're in, and it's driving you nuts because you've maybe been so used to being able to safely and calmly control situations, or, I guess, do as you please, but now some control has been taken away from you and you don't know how to feel. And now you're desperately trying to hold on to control because it's all you know and it's all you have. Or maybe you're just afraid to not have any control. A lot of things are out of our hands and out of our power and control, but maybe this is the first time you're feeling scared about not having said control. And it talks about unwelcome change. So maybe something fell into your life, or, a curveball was thrown at you, kind of sending your whole world topsy-turvy type of a thing, that this unexpected thing threw you off balance and you're trying to cope with it, but it's also a time of self-discovery of whatever was thrown at you and learn about yourself and the situation. And it talks about delays. So naturally, you're kind of spooked from this, a little shaken. It's going to take time to work through it, acknowledge it, and get through it. Why does my deck look like that? Okay. And get through it. So naturally, that's going to take time. So that could be the delays that you basically have to just work with this and work through it. It could be self-control, discipline, accepting yourself. It goes so deep. I don't have the exact context of your situation, but at least it's saying, hey, this is going to take time. You're going to be thrown into new experiences and maybe even uncomfortable areas. But now it's up to you to adapt and change and basically work through it and find a way to overcome this so you can kind of get back to a sense of normalcy or self-control or just, back to peace and harmony. Because even the card itself, the Cloud Rat, is clinging onto the branch of the tree. Think of yourself walking on a tightrope and you're throwing off your balance. You're just basically trying to get your balance back. So this is just saying, hey, you could end up here, but I feel like you're here now. So these, I feel like, are more like tips and advice on how to maybe you were not aware of these things. So now that you are, maybe that can help you get out of this rut and regain your balance and self-control. All right, and now the third card. So assuming you work with that, get through it, do what you can. We're going to get to the third card, positive influences. And we get the Hanged Man featuring the Fruit Bat. And if you know anything about tarot cards, the Hanged Man is pretty cool because the artwork is upside down, so it makes it feel like an upside down card. If that makes any sense. But let's get to the Hanged Man. So it means sacrifice, waiting, uncertainty, lack of direction, new perspective, or just perspective in general. So like taking a step back, or it can also be a new perspective. Contemplation, acceptance. Oh yeah, there it is. New perspective, release, let go, and martyrdom, whatever that word means, like self. Let's Google that. I don't see that word too often. I almost said Mardi Gras. Martyrdom. Let's see how it pronounces it on Google. Martyrdom. The death or suffering of a martyr. That doesn't really tell me. Similar. A display of feigned or exaggeration suffering to obtain sympathy or admiration. Okay, so playing victim, I guess, and trying to get points with people, I guess. But either way, so the last card talked about delays, and this card talks about waiting, uncertainty, lack of direction because you don't have the control or balance, but you got through that. So this is where we are now. And you have a new perspective on life. Maybe you just took a step back because of that top, maybe because you lost your balance. It threw you upside down and you got through it now. You got through all that stuff and regained your composure, but now you have like a new outlook on life, hence the new perspective and acceptance, because now you're more like, okay, things are out of my control. You have to accept that things happen. Now we naturally can and want to change things for the better or have control, but you know, some things we just can't, and you learn more to go with the flow and let go. Release is a good one. You just let go. This is fine. You're not going to hold on to, say, maybe said grudges or something too much. You're not going to let certain things rule your life because you're living now. And yes, so bad things happen to you or not cool things. You're here now, you're getting through it. So you're not going to let it dictate your life. Maybe the experience you learned from, but you're not going to let the overall thing dictate how you live. Talks about acceptance. This is fine, like the fire dog meme in the burning building, but in a more positive way, if that makes any sense. Like the lack of direction, uncertainty, because you still don't quite know where you're going, what you're doing, but yet you still have a good sense of self. And so you're just basically seeing where more of the world is taking you and what life has to offer. And basically just generally new experiences taught you a lot about yourself. And who knows, maybe you're excited to go explore these things, maybe you're not, but either way, things are in motion. You're not going to stop. You don't want to stop growing as a person. You're curious about the world. So even if things you want to learn or do or look into may not be cool or a waste of time, you still want to experience it. And that's, to me, says a lot because, you know, new perspective, you're just thrown out into the world of creativity and wonders, and now it's like you want to see, you know, maybe taste exotic foods, see exotic places, escape the normalcy and mundane stuff of life. You just want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more, because once you get a taste of the world or something, you know, maybe it rekindle or spark that passion in you or excitement that you once had that you may have lost, or maybe that you had to put on hold because of life circumstances and situations. But either way, you accepted it. This is fine. These are how things are. Regardless of how the world is, you want to do more, and now you maybe have the courage to do more and pursue just, you know, just more. And you're not going to play victim anymore. Maybe you're lying to yourself, and now you realize this whole time you're living somewhat of a lie. And then you're like, why was I doing that? What was I on? But anyway, you want to move forward, improve, not just for yourself, but others, like just overall good vibes. So with that, we're going to get to the fourth card, the near future, and just take a look at how things are still going for you. Close this, get the next card ready. And we get the Knight of Swords, featuring the bighorn sheep. That guy. Let me get to the swords, get to the knights. Okay, the Knight of Swords, assertive, direct, impatient, but yet intellectual, daring, focused, perfectionist, ambitious, action, impulsiveness, defending beliefs. And if I was the queen, great reading. Haha, nice. Oh yeah, so you're more assertive now, which means you're standing your ground, basically creating, or you're respecting yourself by making boundaries, and you're holding others accountable and yourself accountable of said boundaries. Or like maybe before, people would do not cool things to you and you just go with the flow because you didn't want to upset the peace or something, or for the sake of maintaining the quote-unquote peace. But now you set healthy boundaries, You're being more assertive with people in case people don't take you seriously. You just let them know that, hey, I actually mean this, or like if I ask you to cut it out, you just gently remind them, like, hey, I'm like serious about this. This isn't a joke. I'm not messing around. Like, you're being more direct with people about your feelings. And also, you let people know they can be direct with you, or if you're oblivious to something, again, it's a two-way street. You're open to discussion, you're open to conversation. Because I know a lot of people, they bring up an issue they might have or a concern. People get super defensive, like you're attacking them. And I mean, again, all context based, but like in general, if you question people, people feel like attacked, and I'm like, hey, I need to know, or you're simply asking for clarification. But talks about being a little impatient and impulsiveness. So maybe if things aren't happening as fast as you want, it kind of gets on your nerves a bit, because now you're so direct and assertive and stronger from all these experiences, and maybe you expect that from everyone around you, but not everyone's going to be in the same wavelength. And impulsiveness, you're more action, you're more on the go physically. You may not think things through because you're more about doing in the moment. Or maybe like people have to think about what to say, or like if they're going to write a speech, but you just say everything improv. You just say what's on your mind. You just do. You may not have as much planning because you're just so used to just doing. And also talks about being focused. So you're setting goals, you're focused on what you're doing. That could be why this new state of being is happening, because a different level of consciousness. Talks about, let's see, being intellectual. So maybe you got wiser, a little more talkative, more know-how. Literally, the word itself, intellectual, would probably be a better what I'm trying to say is just reading definition. Card talks about being daring. So maybe you're more outgoing now. Maybe you're comfortable with leaving your comfort zone and knowing that that's okay to feel uncertainty. But again, the curiosity's got you more interested in being daring, more outspoken, I guess, maybe. Talks about being a perfectionist. Again, the card also talks about being impatient. So now you're a perfectionist. Everything has to be done just right or to your liking, or it's not good at all. But maybe you became this uptight over time, again, from your past experiences and hardships, and you got through it. So now, yeah, you leveled up. You're better off for it. But now a new sense of not maybe an affliction, but like more mannerisms or just isms have come to you, and one of them is being a perfectionist. But I really like how the card talks about being ambitious. You have new hopes and dreams, more goals, or maybe you had them all along, but now you're like, no, I really want this. I want to pursue this. I have hopes and dreams. You want to execute them. You want to do them and fulfill them and follow through. And the card talks about action, because the whole thing about wands is the fire symbol, and the whole theme, I think, of the wands deck is action, things happening, you doing, like a verb. You're a living verb. So you want to do things, you want to get things going, you don't want to wait around, or maybe you did all the planning, like enough planning, enough talking. It's now the time to actually do it and walk the walk. I've done all the talking, I talked the talk, I did all the planning, yada yada yada. Now it's time to deliver. And it also talks about defending beliefs. So maybe what you're doing doesn't vibe with people, people question your motives in that, but you're letting them know, hey, even if you think this isn't cool, it's something I believe in, it's something I'm standing up for. I'm standing up for myself. I am into this. I want to pursue this. Even if you know it may not be such a good idea, you want the experience. You're allowed to try and experiment. And it's like, I want to see this through. And even people do stuff, you can bail at any time too. You don't always have to see things through. Sometimes it's good to bail when you know it's failing, or like it's not working out. You can abandon ship and survive, but you feel more strongly about this stuff, so you want to see stuff through more to the end. And again, being more assertive, maybe you're a pushover, maybe people walked all over you, but now you're stronger. People recognize this presence more of you, that you're not going to take their shit anymore. And if they give you shit, you're going to firmly, again, you don't have to be an asshole, you don't have to be mean, but you're going to firmly stand up for yourself, or be like, no, I mean this, or no, I want this, or no, I said no, thank you. Like, no means no, or you're just generally a stronger person physically and mentally, more sharp mind. Maybe the past conditionings of your life. You're like, okay, I've been through so much. I'm just tired of bullshit. So now you're trying to minimize bullshit, but people might see that as you being harsh. Love the cute for the hanged man. Yeah. Okay, and then so now we're gonna get to the fifth and final card, which is going to be the long-term results to see and bring this all together and just see how it's working out. It could be a cliffhanger to be continued. It could be ending credits. It could be a final boss. It could be the final chapter of a book. You name it. Phasmophobia, hangman. Yes, I was a doormat. No, don't be a doormat. Again, not that you have to overcompensate and by being a bitch or angry person, because some people do that when they're tired of being a doormat. They just go 180, which is a good step to go in of being more assertive, but then sometimes they come on too strong. So it's a good not to be a doormat, but also know, I guess basically have more self-confidence, but don't lie to yourself about having self-confidence. You're organically more confident in yourself. So we're going to get to the fifth and final card, and with the King of Wands featuring the Florida Manatee. So we went from Knight of Swords, and now we're going to the King of Wands. And I was talking about that swords was not physical action. That's wands, that's physical actions. And I forgot I had swords, which is an air symbol, and that's more about thought processes and moods, I believe. So good thing at least I had the chart to read it up, but I had the symbol. I was thinking it was wands. My bad, it's swords, so that's more in your head space. And that's an air sign. But now we're getting to wands, which is a fire sign, and this is more about physical action and activity and doing. So let's go to wands and go to the king. Leadership, vision, big picture, taking control, daring decisions, boldness, optimism, overcoming challenges. So it's funny because the last card talked about being daring, and now this is talking about daring decisions. So you're being daring before, but now you're making more spicy and daring choices and decisions. You're being more bold. You're letting the world know, hey, I'm here. Don't judge me. Love me. You're presenting yourself to the world. You're letting people know you exist. Not that you're going out of your way saying, hey, I exist. No, you're just like, people starting to notice. Maybe it's like a spiritual pressure change in you, but people are starting to know more that you exist. Not that you're a force to be reckoned with, but like, you're no longer this like random person. You're on people's radars now. Maybe it's a sign of your strength and growth or self-confidence that they see, but there's something different about you that just you're broadcasting to the world, hey, I exist. Talks about having a vision and having leadership. So maybe there's something you want to do. Again, it could be on so many levels. It could be hobbies and passions you want to pursue. It could be like a business you want to open. It could be getting a house, moving, getting involved with someone, just so many things. Or maybe you wanted a sense of community and you're bringing it all together. It could even be like a project. Does it not let you? Um, Maybe refresh the page. I don't know. I don't remember if there's a limited amount per stream. Let me take a look. Manage. Let's say tarot. Yeah, there's a limit per stream. Let me edit that. Let me change the title of it too. Okay, I saved it. If you can try refreshing and try it again and let me know if it works. I mean, on my screen, the music's like a third of the volume of my voice. But tell you what, Let me mute it. I'll still listen to it, but then you guys don't have to. But I need entertainment. I need music because I'm just reading. I'm just hearing my own voice. But or maybe next time I'll make a calmer playlist that doesn't have lyrics. That's just like relaxing, like meditation music. So I'll work on that next time. But yeah, I said it. I saved it, so now it can be. I renamed the redeem, so it should show up differently. It should say tarot reading, and it's now up to 5 times per stream. All right, sorry about that, Auntie, but let me get back to your reading at the moment. Talk about optimism. So you're looking bright to the future, overcoming challenges. You overcame some already, but it's letting you know that you are not afraid to continue overcoming them, and you know challenges are going to always come your way. They never stop. And if they do stop, well, then good on you. And good on you. Talk about boldness. We're talking about taking control. So it's okay. Here's a good one. So taking control. Well, I updated it, but maybe because I'm streaming, maybe it won't make the changes to the Well, either way, don't worry about it. Okay. Let me get back to the ring. I'm sorry. So it's really cool because this final card is talking about taking control. And the second card here, when we got the Wheel of Fortune upside down, was about losing control and clinging to it. So now you've regained control, but in a good way, not out of desperation, but out of becoming a stronger and better person and your experiences and natural growth. You regain your balance, so to speak. The card talks about seeing the big picture. So again, you have visions, hopes, and dreams, things you want to accomplish in this life. Either it's alone or with people, but you have things you want to do and you want to see through. So this doesn't just end your story. It's like you have hopefulness for the future. You're taking control again of your life. You're making maybe more bold and risky decisions, but you know, what's life if you're not taking some risks? So you did some risk management. You're like, whatever it is you want to do may not succeed, or it might totally pay off. It's a gamble, so to speak. But you're willing to do it, knowing the fully what you're getting into and the potential consequences. So you're all in on what you want to do. You're not afraid. You're going to try and execute it. But I talk about leadership, so maybe you naturally become a leader, or maybe entrepreneur. Maybe also a leader could also be you inspire others. You may not even have to do any actual leading or anything, just you existing, doing your thing, being genuine, doing what you care about, your interests and hobbies and passions is enough to spark an interest in others, and or maybe a sense of followers, or maybe get like a little group or community going. But either way, I guess I'll just say an inspiring leader. I mean, it goes so much deeper than that, but we'll just take the words at face value. The big thing is optimistic. You're more bold. You're taking control again of life and what you can take control of, because you can't control everything, but things that are within your power, and you know, making decisions and choices, you are in control again. So now we're going to get to the Oracle card, which is just a bonus cherry on top, fortune cookie. It's a novice witch deck and just a message of encouragement, pretty much. Now you get Starhawk, which represents female empowerment. So either if you're a female or you're empowering females, because it's more like a divine feminine, or like in the tarot cards, that would be like the Empress type of thing. So you're empowering others or yourself, and again, that's also inspiring and leading others. You're giving other people opportunities. Maybe you see the worth in people, giving people confidence. And from your own, you know, stuff in life and that, and what you went through, maybe people heard stories about you and your struggles, or how you persevered, and you just simply telling stories or sharing with people of how you got through stuff was enough to inspire them and empower them. It's Auntie. Yes, thank you. In adventure mode, but still early on that journey. It is scary, but doing it anyway. Hells yeah. I mean, you got to, because it's like, do you want to be afraid your whole life, or quote unquote play it safe, but then never really ventured out and did anything? But I hope that reading was cool for you. At least we got to dig a little deep. I don't know how much resonated with you, but hopefully there's some from that you can take. Because for me, just reading the cards, it went in a pretty clear direction of things are cool, new things. Got thrown off a bit, confused, then you got a new perspective and outlook on everything. Then you made up your mind more, became stronger, more firm, and then at the end you're taking control and basically back on course, but now with more confidence. Yeah, Hex, just next stream just redeem it then, and I'll do Joe's now. When you read nowadays, feeling kind of lead to two fascist parties in Germany. Oh yeah, I said no. You can redeem it later because I do need the points spent, but I'll do the reading now. But if it's not letting you redeem it, then just redeem it during my next stream. If you can do that for me, yeah. Auntie, all of it was relevant and fair. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for the sub and taking interest and taking the time. I know you've been waiting a little bit, and these readings do end up taking time. I do take commissions for private readings, and they go a bit longer, maybe more detailed, and also I have a discussion on it. So if anyone's ever interested in that, I do those offline. I usually do them in a Discord call or a private call, and I usually reserve the time about an hour. And though it costs money because I do this for a living, streaming is also a way to share it and be general and bring more attention to it. I'm happy to do it during a stream, but if you want to dig, say, deeper, have an open discussion about it, and even fill me in, because I know a lot of this stuff can be personal and private, it can also help me make, I guess, more sense of it, or it could take the conversation further in the readings because there's more context, but it's also very intimate and private. It's not everyone's comfortable with having generally everything on stream, so I do commissions for private readings, and also extended private readings, I should say. But thank you all for taking interest, and now let me read. How might life turn out to be is Joe's question. Okay. Well, we'll see what the cards have to say. And Hax, if Joe is watching for a while, I don't know if she's just tuning in or if she's with you right now, but I do have 5 cards. Her name is Ava. So is it Joe or Ava? Is on the stream? Okay, sweet. But it makes sense. Thanks for contributing to the Tower community. Us viewers appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys too. And again, I'm gonna try to do these at least bi-weekly, but if there's more live learns like this, there could be more streams, because if I go off my to-do list or my queue, once I run out, that's it. So I do have to spread out the content a little bit, but if I get live readings like this, that also gives me more content, so I can also do more tarot reading streams as well, if that makes any sense. So it helps me out greatly, and I always appreciate it. She is on stream. Her name's Ava. Thanks, Jezza. You may have missed the shadow stuff. Was spot on. And if any of you want to touch up on it later, or even let me know privately in DMs, I'm always happy to also hear you out more, discuss it a little bit. If anyone wants to share. But other than that, I know a lot of people like to remain somewhat anonymous, so I totally understand if you don't, but I'm just letting you know the option is out there if you want to maybe let me know what was going on specifically in your life or something, and I can maybe touch up on that a little bit. Sorry about that. But let us... It was pretty deep in my opinion. And let me just quickly queue up another song for myself. Okay. 1 second. Alrighty, Ava. I'm going to do a 5-card spread. Tells us a little about you, and we'll address the question a bit of how will my life turn out to be. These cards will be guidance. So I read the cards, I tell you what they mean, but then I give you like my interpretation along with it. So the cool thing about these cards are that, say if you got a reading from 3 different people and we all got the same cards in the exact same order, yeah, there'll be similarities, but the readings would be all different because we add our personal touch and interpretations and, you know, our own experiences bring stuff to light or awareness more. So it's like you'll never get the exact same reading. So I think that's also really cool about this is it's very customizable. There's different formats too. There's 7-card spreads. That one set that look like, I think this is one of them. One spread looks like this. So it's almost like playing cards. You have, you know, Texas Hold'em, poker, blackjack, everything. But one of the first ones I found, I just really vibe with. And it has a little story to it, and I really like that a lot because, again, I haven't tried other spreads. I might in the future, but this one, I don't know. I was just sold on it. On how each position has a meaning. What if you send them boots off? I don't know, Niv. But let me quickly, almost done. Sorry, thanks for waiting. Sorry. Just going through something real quick, 1 second. Okay, this will probably be the last reading for the stream. I do have to get going. I'm not going to rush it, but I'm just letting anyone know in case they're interested in redeeming. You have to stop edging her. Thanks, Rob. We'll likely reach out some point. Thank you so much for the read, and thank you for taking interest. And again, thanks for subbing. I know people can do it for free for points, but it also does help me when I get subs or anything to help the channel grow. I even get a little income because I do commissions for these IRL in person too, so it's also a part of my livelihood, so I always appreciate it. And I do mostly stream games and some artwork, but I do want to, I do variety stuff, so I do want to not necessarily have a schedule, but I would like to do tarot readings at least 2 to 4 times a month. Maybe once a week or bi-weekly, but sometimes I feel inspired and jazzed up. I'll do like 3 reading streams in 1 week. So it won't stop, but I understand if no one wants to tune in for the other stuff. I know people are, some might only be here for very specific stuff, but I do plan on speedrunning Super Metroid and try to get back into that. Probably gonna take a big break from Darkest Dungeon, or play that when I get burned out from everything else. And I do plan on playing Doom Eternal at some point. I have not played that game yet. And maybe some artwork and some commissions, but again, when I do art, if I talk too much, it just slows down. But anyway, if I do a 5-card spread, tells us a little about you. It's like a story, just to see how you are doing, what's going on. But the general question in mind is context about how your life is going to turn out and where you're going, what's up. First card is the significator. Second card is the obstacle. Third card is positive influences. Fourth card is the near future. The fifth card is long-term results. And the sixth bonus card, which is from an Oracle deck, so that's completely different, is just a little bonus on top. Have a drink of water. Oh yeah, let me type in the time for that. So I also document my readings for myself. Gotta get the timestamp up, and in case someone asks later and they weren't around for the time, I could at least link them the timestamp. Okay, so Ava 223. Okay. There you go, Ava, you're up. And how your life will turn out will it be? Well, let's find out. The first card we get is the Eight of Pentacles, featuring the Pug. Look how smart this guy is, reading a lot of books. So, also excited to always see cards I don't see every stream. So, let's go to Eight of Pentacles. All right, this card represents skill, talent, craftsmanship, quality, high standards, expertise, mastery, commitment, dedication, accomplishment, diligence, passion. So as you can tell, the dog is learning and reading. He's passionate about the reading, what he's learning. He wants knowledge. He wants more. He wants to master what he's learning. You know, you want to naturally get good at what you're doing. You want to become proficient at it. And so let's start here. It talks about skill and talent, craftsmanship. So I don't know what you're into. Maybe you have some hobbies and passions on the back burner, or maybe you're pursuing them now. But if you're not, this is the time saying, hey, maybe you should look into this. But if you're doing some of this now, it's saying, hey, you really like these things. Maybe you want to take it to the next level. So she likes drawing? Good, because I was going to say, I use artwork for myself as an example. So say like, you're busy in school and stuff, be like, hey, I really like doing artwork and stuff. And now it's like, okay, you did it maybe loosely as a hobby, you know, relaxation, de-stressing, or just, you know, doing it solely for fun, which is totally fine. But then you come to find yourself, hey, I actually like this. I want to pursue it more. Hey, maybe I'll really dedicate some time to this and really like level up my game. And that could either be just self-taught, it could be going to university, it could be, oh, sorry, I shut the camera. University, you could be getting advice from others, reading tutorials, but either way, you want more. It's exciting. So that's why you're committed and have the dedication to this, because it excites you. It's you're passionate about it, and naturally, when you're passionate about something, things are going to flow better. And when you're excited, that's a really good sign to me, because it means you're eager to get into it. I also talked about quality. So for me, I was self-taught on my art. I think I only had one book when I was a kid. It was How to Draw the Marvel Way, like Marvel Comics. I didn't really understand it back then, but now I recommend it to people that ask me for art advice and stuff. I might make tutorials later, or I might make it a redeemed. In fact, I think I have it as a redeem right now, private art lesson for like an hour or something. But I recommend that book to everyone, because everyone's like, oh no, you need this book by this guy, by that guy. You need a million books. And they're all very niche and specialized. But what I like about How to Draw the Marvel Way is that it's a generalization. So it gives you a little bit of everything, and it's very good knowledge. It never gets outdated. I mean, you can always take it further, but that's, I think, a good stepping stone for people if they're really starting new and have no advice. Or I know there's so many tutorials online now, but they just want some physical book that's not too long and gives you a lot of bang for your buck and knowledge, and that's easier to digest. I would say start with that book. Let's see, it talks about expertise. Again, you just want to get good at it. You have a knack for this, or a natural gift for this art. And even though if your skill isn't that up, you feel it in your heart. You want to pursue it, whatever it is, either money, fame, self-exploration, or just making pretty and cool things, or just want to do self-expression. You want to do more of this. So, and it talks about accomplishments, so you come a long way, or you're going to come a long way, or maybe you finish doing something else. But then, because some people I know they get their day job, right? They go to school for something just to make money. But then when they're working, they're like, oh, I'm actually not interested in this as much, and I'm more interested in my art. But you got to think, I got to make money, I got to pay the bills. I get that. But now maybe the art's been on the sideline, or maybe you've been curious about pursuing it more. So now you're like, you know what? I want to do more of this regardless. I'll have to make time. I'll have to squeeze time to do more. If you're busy with, say, school and work and other things, you're going to start making time to study and learn, or even just do. But you also want to be efficient about your time and not blindly just doodle, because, I mean, that's one way to do it. But that's why I suggested that book or maybe some tutorial. So at least you have a kind of a plan and you can work on things. But again, this is just the beginning. So the beginning is you're really into maybe art or something else, and you're going to pursue it and get good at it and proficient at it. Not saying you're not good at it, because I don't know where you're at. I mean more when I say good, it's at the level of your journey. So not maybe your skill, but maybe this is a new journey you're going to dive deeper into. All right, sorry that was quite a bit on that one. So let's go to the second card, which is the obstacle. This is where things get spicy, played in reverse. Reversed cards have alternate meanings, and they can be essentially used against you, or more like a warning, or hey, things are tough. This may be some advice on how to get out of a rut. And we get the Eight of Wands, featuring the blue-tongued skink. And no, I am not making this up. So this guy's going to be upside down. So let me go to Eight of Wands. All right, the Eight of Wands normally means speed, movement, progress, quick decision, sudden change, excitement, and rapid action. But it's in reverse. So it's going to mean waiting, slowness, get this chaos, delays, losing momentum, hastiness, being unprepared, panic, and slowing down. So very interesting, because the first card talked about you're eager and passionate and dedicated to your craft and, learning and leveling up. This card is now saying you're waiting now, you're a little slow, you're slowing down, you're kind of panicked, you're underprepared, but you're also hasty, so you're not slowing down to think. You're physically slowing down, but your mind is getting faster. It talks about chaos because, again, I don't know your life circumstances, what's going on. Maybe there's too much on your plate, more than you can chew. But either way, you're losing your momentum. So maybe you're losing the drive and excitement you had because now you're at a part of learning this or the artwork, but now it's not as fun anymore because now you're taking it from a educational approach of, oh, I have to read books, I have to learn color theory, anatomy. It's a lot to take on. And essentially, I guess maybe you're getting discouraged. And hence, you're going to slow down. You're going to kind of panic because it's something you want to do, but maybe it's more work than you realize. But the cool thing is about artwork, or art in general, and self-expression, you go at your own pace. I mean, yeah, you can compare yourself to other people, but everyone's art journey is personal. Same thing with like learning a musical instrument. It's your journey. Now, I mean, naturally, people want to learn at a good pace. You don't want to learn too fast. I know some people learn slowly. It takes forever, but if this is something you really want to do, you're not going to care about your pace. I mean, naturally, if you see fast results or good results in a reasonable amount of time, it is encouraging. Like, don't get me wrong, I love to have good, fast results, but we can't all have that. But at least, one sec. All right, sorry, but talks about chaos, delay. So now you're like slowing down. Maybe you have less time to work on your art or stuff, or just stuff in life in general. You have less time. So now it's like you're getting discouraged, but you want results now, hence the hastiness. It can even be a form of being impatient. But you just have to really reevaluate everything, what you're doing, where you're going. Maybe you have to prioritize your things so you can get things, start doing more of what you actually care about and what matters to you. So we get through that. So maybe slow down or speed up depending what you want to do, and really think about what you want to do and how you do it. We're going to get to the third card, which is positive influences. So hopefully you got through that, or if you were never there, hopefully these warnings prevented you from falling into that pit. So now we get Four of Swords featuring the Crow. So very funny, even though this card's positive influences, the Four of Swords has, I should say, interesting meanings. So let me pull up the chart. So this card means rest, relaxation, peace, sanctuary, recuperation, self-protection, rejuvenation, restoration, and contemplation. So this is just a big slowdown. You're taking a self-care break, maybe mental health break. Maybe you did have too much on your plate, so a lot of contemplation. You're going to be thinking. You're going on vacation almost, is the card, or the traditional original card. Looks like that, like you see a knight resting. Okay, so rest, relaxation, peace. You're getting away from it all. You're taking a break. You're recuperating. You're protecting yourself physically and mentally and spiritually. You're getting rejuvenated, so you're just taking the time you need to heal and just get your wits about you. Just, refresh, recharge. Get all that restoration stuff going. But then also during this time, you have a lot of contemplation and a lot of thinking to do, and you're in your headspace a lot because you're thinking, maybe, should I be doing this? Was this a mistake? Should I keep pursuing it? Either way, you're going to take time to do self-care and really think about this. So when you come back, you can make an informed decision if you still want to pursue this, if it's too much, or if you want to do something else. But either way, you're just taking a break and regrouping. But, getting through the second card might have been taxing on you, so that's why we're taking a break now in the positive influence section, because you did a lot, you're exhausted. You need time to think and recoup and rethink and reevaluate what you want. What do you expect from yourself? What do you expect from others? Everything. So just a lot of rest and healing, basically. So positive influences, healing, and self-care. And you'll make up your mind about life and stuff and what you want to do, where you want to go with it, hopes and dreams in a bit. But like right now, you're like, I just need some rest. So now we're going to get to the near future and just see where this is all heading in this game. Well, I should say the game of life. Let me pull it up. And we get the Ace of Pentacles featuring the Palawan Peacock Pheasant. That's a mouthful. Let me go to Pentacles. Ace. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. New opportunities, resources, abundance, prosperity, security, stability, manifestation, new adventure. So I really like this. You took the time to rest and self-care and thinking about what you really want to do. You made up your mind. Again, this could be involving art or it could be something else, but either way, I also just vibe with art more, so that's why I always default to it. But so okay, you rested, you made up your mind more of what you want to do, and now you have new opportunities, and you also have resources that are available to you now that may have not been available to you before. So getting back into what you really want to do might be more doable now. And there's an abundance also of these resources and opportunities, and it could even be self-confidence, it could be physical material, or it could even just be time. But either way, whatever you want to do before is now more doable now, and you almost feel like a renewed passion or excitement for it, because now, maybe before you felt kind of like you failed a little bit, or like you never had enough time or whatever, but now you have the time and you know it's okay to fail and do again. But the biggest thing is you have the opportunity to do this again, or even if you want to pursue something else, there's more opportunities. Talks about prosperity and security and stability, so you don't have to worry about finances. You're in a safe space. Maybe people are helping you, because everyone can't truly do everything alone. We all help each other, but maybe people are funding you for these opportunities for you to pursue these things. As an example, like right now, people subbing, tipping, all that is help funding me do these readings and things like that, and also help my livelihood. So maybe some of that's coming your way. But I think the big thing I like about this is the manifestation. You're making things into a reality. You're doing it. You're doing the things. You're making things happen. You have dreams and visions, and you're making them come true rather than letting them stay as a dream. you're more excited, you're just doing, things are flowing better. And the cool thing is new ventures await. So again, can tie closely to the new opportunities. There's just more for you to do, more to pick and choose. Maybe you're more passionate about other things too that you want to do more. But either way, the creativity is there and you want to pursue it and make things happen. And you have, I don't know the financial situation because Pentacles talks about physical possessions and like finances and things like that. Maybe you didn't have the money or time and resources before, but now you do, or maybe you will soon. Well, it just keep pursuing it. Go for what you really want in life. You don't have to settle. And even say you go for something you really want and it fails, okay, on to the next thing. You don't have to ruminate and stay in this rut of, oh no, I failed, I'm a failure. You can just acknowledge it and be like, well, that sucked, or that wasted my time, but at least I know now I don't like that, or it wasn't what I thought it was. So it's still a good experience. And if you fail, you can just, again, try again or try something different. You don't have to keep trying the same thing until you succeed. I mean, you can if you want to, but just an example that you have more opportunities and things to do out there now, so you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket if you don't want to. So now we're going to get to the fifth card, long-term results, ending credits, final boss, to be continued, who knows. Maybe the last chapter of a book. But let's see where this goes. 8 of Swords. I'm gonna let you have a good picture of my girlfriend, waifu. And so we had the 8 of Swords with the Plains Zebra. So let's go back to Swords, which is our thought processing type of thing. Okay, Agate of Swords. Okay. So this is a funny one because this card is kind of a doozy. Not negative, but it's almost like a sad card. Let me just read it to you. The 8 of Swords means trapped, restricted, victimized, paralyzed, helpless, imprisonment, entrapment. The traditional card, I think, has a guy crying on the bed. And he's like, what am I doing with my life? But since these are animal cards, the zebra, let me pull it up and see if the camera focuses, is like tangled in a bunch of like leaves and stuff. So that could represent being trapped and helpless, yada yada. But okay, so things are going great. So now we get this nice little M. Night Shyamalan plot twist, or maybe cliffhanger for to be continued. Like I said, it was like a TV series or something, or a movie. But now you're feeling trapped. It says restricted, helpless, powerless, imprisonment, entrapment, paralyzed, victimized. So I don't know what's going on because things were going great. So this could be either you, it could be family, it could be work, it could be friends. But something completely just did a 180 turn. And now before you, so you're going really creative. You rested, you want to be more creative, you had more opportunities. And now, oh, sorry, I see my internet connection is actually saying it's unstable. Sorry about that. Hopefully the VOD can help, but yeah, I see it on my end too. It says unstable. Yeah, I'll repeat the card. So I wasn't aware my internet was having problems. Okay, so sorry, we got the 8 of Swords, which means trapped, restricted, victimized, paralyzed, helpless, powerless, imprisonment, entrapment. So with this, things are going really good. Then something happened along the way. It could have been a traumatic experience. It could have been something bad. But either way, you feel like a victim. So maybe you're in an unfortunate situation now where you had the opportunities now, but not that you chose incorrectly, but maybe people gave you a chance and time to pursue these things, but maybe they didn't vibe with you, and you're like, oh, I want to do something else, but those resources that were once available are not. It could be financial struggles, like life circumstances, life changes could have happened, because I don't, again, know the context. Or maybe you just lost interest in what you were doing, or you were so passionate about something, and something along the way made you lose it. Maybe people made fun of you, because I remember me and my brother, we would love doing artwork. Some of our friends would say it's stupid. I'm like, why is it stupid? Like, it's childish. I'm like, okay, but it's fun as hell, and I enjoy it, so what does it matter if it's quote-unquote childish? So maybe someone along the way discouraged you, and now, or maybe criticized your artwork or you as a person too much, or said something that really hurt and offended you. And the problem is that had a butterfly or chain reaction effect that it threw you off balance, made you feel stupid, made you feel like worthless, and now you're kind of stuck in a rut of crying, just feeling bad. Or maybe you want to do more, say move out, or like pursue the arts more or something, but you can't because of financial struggles, maybe. Or maybe you're trapped at home, like say you're taking care of like a sick parent and you can't leave because you're like the caretaker, but or you end up in like an abusive relationship and you're too scared to pursue. But just there's so many things to break it down to that it's I would say this is a cliffhanger for sure, because maybe you just failed once and you just need to get back up and try again or try another thing, but now you're really discouraged from the last experience. Maybe because things are going so good, maybe the possibility of things going bad or failing wasn't in your mind. Not that it should be in your mind, but it wasn't like a possibility. So maybe when something didn't work out, you almost got spooked and scared and shooken and thrown off balance because you're like, oh my God, I put my hopes and dreams into this. Why isn't it working out? Like, oh, why are these bad things happening to me? But that's a whole. It's gonna sound silly, trying to overachieve or get fast, good results to please others. So it's like, hey, maybe it's another sign to slow down and reevaluate, and or maybe even just change your strategy to approach what you like. So let's do the Oracle card now and see what we get as a little positive booster phrase or bonus fortune cookie cherry on top. And we get the Wolf, which represents trust. We put much trust in ourselves. We put much trust in other people, but don't forget to put trust in yourself as well. And again, trust is earned. It can also be given, almost much like loyalty. But again, this is more on a trust base, but just trust in yourself, I would say more so. Even if you fail, that doesn't mean you have to lose trust. You know, failing's a natural part of life. You just, as long as you have the drive to keep going and try again, and even maybe mix it up. Like, basically don't give up unless it's something you truly don't want anymore. Then it's fine to give up and abandon it because you don't want to waste time on things you're not interested in anymore. But if you just had a bad experience or someone's mean to you, I'll just say keep at it. But I hope this was cool for you. I hope the lag didn't ruin it too much. I didn't realize that until you brought it up. But I am going to wrap it up and end it here. Hex, thank you all for the interest and the subs and tips and everything. And Hex, if you could just redeem that whenever you get the points next stream, I'd appreciate it. So I've rambled on. I'm gonna discuss it. See ya. Okay. And yeah, thank you for taking an interest. And we'll see you next time. I'm not sure when I'll do the next one, but so I got a new camera arm, so I'm just trying to figure out now a good setup. But we can do that another time. I'm just gonna raid Monte Pente. He's playing 9 souls. Almost was all correct. Well, I'm glad to hear it.